There we go. Let's see. Everything's up. Okay, that's just a notification. Want to make sure this thing doesn't act too goofy. Corvette, how's it going? I'll give it a few minutes. Let people come on in before I get started here. Let's see. Make sure I'm live too. Let's see. How's it going, Brian? How's it going, Caroline? I'll talk about 2002 as well. Just letting people file in as we speak. Bola, how's it going? Alright, copy this. Okay, I'm streaming, that's good. I like to double check to make sure because, sometimes it'll just act wonky and I'm like, no. That's not how you spell live. There we go. Let's see. Perfect. Okay. Trigger, how's it going? Brian Rodriguez, hello. Hello. Thank you all for stopping by. Happy Easter. Happy Easter weekend. Hope you all have a fun Easter and all that. So yeah, I will get into the nitty gritty. Talk about some updates and stuff like that, and then we'll hop into the director's commentary. So the director's commentary will simply be basically covers all the way up to the start of Cup, and then part 2 will be the Cup, since Cup was like the really long part, right? So, and just kind of take a look back on 2001 as we prep for 2002, and all that fun jazz. So. Of course, we're into the NASCAR season as well. Admittedly, I've had I've had quite a long week. So I admittedly did not follow the Rockingham races as much because I was just dead tired. I did follow along. Didn't really follow along much with the truck race. Congrats to William Sawalich on his first O'Reilly win. Still trying to get used to that, right? But, much needed for him, for sure. So, I feel like now that Brent Cruz is starting to catch on and, performing well, maybe Sawalich needed to lock in a little bit more. Big win, though, so hopefully that'll steer him in the right direction for the rest of the season. Congrats to him. But, yeah, so let me start off with just calling Bush at this point. Yeah. What can you do, So, let's see. For the references start until the end of the Bush section is an hour and 40. Part 2 is an hour and 26. We try to split it up somewhat evenly. Yep. Pretty much. So I'll start off with some life stuff. So, there's been some changes happening at my workplace. Some restructuring going on. It's kind of messed up my hours. Some people had off, and I worked nothing but 4 a.m. shifts all week. So my sleep schedules have been way out of whack. So I'm a night owl. I'm gonna be real. I don't, but I still do my job. I still do it well. And yes, some people in my department are getting laid off. I still have a job. I'm safe, but I've worked early hours this week. I just wanted to be, I wanted to be more transparent about that and just talk to you about my life and everything else. And I'm okay. So, I'm thankful for that. So I'm doing okay. It's just been a long week. Um, tried to have a little fun last night. Saw the new Mario movie, but so yeah, I figured I'd give a life update. I'm doing okay. Things have just been hectic. The other thing too is we've gotten all the rating stuff figured out, and we are doing the Busch season as we speak. As a matter of fact, Jet is helping run a race right now. So yeah, we're gonna get the Busch series done, and then we're gonna jump straight to the Cup series, and then get this video out. So I apologize it's taken this long, but just so you know, we're getting on it. So we're ready to go full speed ahead and all that fun stuff. The Dude Wipe series, can you imagine? Right now it feels like the Chevrolet series, man. It's really bummed for Nick Sanchez what's happening there. I think he's a really talented driver, and if he ends up getting let go, I think maybe the Ram trucks can pick him up, because he's just a nice young driver to build the team around, build for the future. But I feel like Ram's just gonna have to kind of build things up slowly but surely. So it should be out by May. Can't get a definitive answer yet, but we're gonna get this video out soon. And once we get Cup and Busch done and start to lay the groundwork, we're gonna get this out as soon as possible, for sure. I still want to get, my goal for 2026 is to do 2002, 2003, and 2004. I would love to try and do 04 by the end of the year, and then jump into the mid-2000s by 2027. That's the plan. That's kind of a rough guess. Trust me, if I could do this full time, and if I could, have more time to work on this stuff, I would, 100%, right? And these videos would get out a lot quicker. So, but that's just how it is, this is a small channel, and I just appreciate all the support from everyone. It means a ton that people enjoy these videos, and like I said, the train's gonna keep going. We had to make a stop, but we're back on track. So that's yeah. So I just want to let you guys know what's going on there. Excuse me. Another thing is TBD on this. I might do another Racing Infinity before 2002. I don't know yet. It just kind of depends on time and everything. And just so keep you guys entertained and stuff like that. Of course, I don't want to make it sound like oh, he disappeared. No, I'm here. Things just been a little hectic, but of course we will do another stream before 2002 when we cover part 2 of the director's commentary for 2001. So yeah. So with that being said, I think that's about everything else. Pounding Pavement has been super delayed because, oh, you're starting a robotics company? Oh, that's neat. Huh. That's pretty cool. I guess for me, if I ever were to start a company, I would love to just start like a media company, or I can host like podcasts and stuff like that on. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's everything that's going on. Again, job's been a little hectic. There's been a lot of changes, but I still have a job, and at the end of the day, that's kind of what matters, right? Hopefully you'll see my company on a truck in 2029, 2030 or so. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. I hope it goes well for you. Seriously, I hope everything goes well. And yeah, since obviously sponsorships can be a little expensive, but obviously if there's a great opportunity for you down the road, then that'd be great, right? It gets more eyes on your company and stuff like that. We're only doing part 1 tonight. So yeah, we're just doing part 1, and then we'll do part 2 probably later this month, most likely. And then we'll get SNL 2002 out, and then jump into 2003, which I'm really excited to do, because we got some exciting seasons coming up. We really do. And I want to get to that, because, I think in this timeline, NASCAR is entering a very, very exciting time. So, Coming whenever Alex has enough money. Murdito Media. Yes. Yeah, just kind of like, I don't know, host podcasts, fun channels, and, maybe, do some unique stuff with it, right? That would be cool. It's called Beccatronics. Nice. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. Again, happy Easter. Hope y'all have a wonderful Easter holiday. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else at the moment, but I just want to say, as always, I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate, seriously, I do. Every comment, every like, I read and pay attention to, and I really appreciate it. So I know people really love these videos, and we try to make every SNL video bigger than the last. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know before I get started. Of course, you can ask questions during the thing, too, and I can continue to talk about it. Of course, I'll have to remember to adjust the volume on here. I don't want it to be too loud that it swallows my voice, so I'll... right in the middle should be good. Okay. Yeah, so... got everything set up here. Right. Give me 1 second here. Interesting. Did it close out on its own? That's fascinating. Okay. Give me a second here. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I guess I had the YouTube thing open, and I guess it just shut down on me. Anyway, who's been the most disappointing driver in SNL? See, that's interesting, because I feel like Dale Jarrett's up there, right? Because at least when you compare that to what he did in real life, he just never really took off the ground. And although now he's become a team owner, and he's had some pretty good success, so we'll see where that lays him. Maybe he'll be a really successful team owner here instead of a driver. So, in a sense, Davey Allison has had I would say, a more weird career, because he struggled at Yates, and then he moves over to his father's team, wins the championship, and he won some races, but kind of dipped away after that. So he's just had a very bizarre career. I can't really explain it. We call him Davey the Disappointment for a reason. Yeah. Jeff Gordon, I mean, to be fair, I guess he hasn't had the... yeah, I wouldn't say Davey is it's just been weird. Jeff Gordon, he's still been good. He just hasn't been as dominant as he was compared to real life. So, okay, good. Just wanted to check that out real quick. Yeah, I would say he, he's been good. He's been competitive. He's been in, top 10 in the standings a lot, top 5. Just kind of waiting for him to jump over the hump still, I guess. Kenny Irwin Jr., yeah, unfortunately, I don't know what happened, man. He just never really panned out in trucks. At this point, he's probably doing USAC or open wheel in timeline. SNL Rusty versus 2023 Max Equal Machinery. Who wins? That's a good question. I mean, if it's on, then you have to say, what kind of track do they race on? Because I would side, it's tough, because Max is very good. He's a very good driver, very talented. And obviously, SNL Rusty is just legendary. Even real life Rusty was still great. I mean, just a few less championships, obviously, which really puts into perspective, with the dominance of Dale Earnhardt. You would have wondered, if it weren't for Dale, how many titles would guys like Rusty and Bill Elliott and Mark Martin would have won. But Matt Kenseth, jury's still out on him. Jury's still out on Kenseth. He's still young. He's still you know, I think win number one's coming soon for him. But it's interesting since Blaze Alexander got a win before him, so that's an interesting story on its own. Let me get into this bad boy, and then we can talk more. Let me know if things sound good and look good and all that. So
the year that many would say defines NASCAR history. A year that was destined to be unlike any other. After 20 seasons of rewritten racing history, we've hit a season unlike any other.
Mark Martin won the 1990 championship in Sunday Night Lights.
From the cars in Victory Lane, the drivers hoisting the cup, to the very tracks they race on. Instead of the Intimidator or the Rainbow Warrior, it was Rusty Wallace who dominated the 90s. At the same time, we saw new names rise to the front. Bubba Nissen rose from humble Busch Series beginnings to become a Winston Cup champion.
Seriously, huge thanks to Griff Dog for doing this opening narrative.
Patty Moise and Shauna Robinson led a revolution unlike anything seen in sports. And now, we've inevitably reached the year people ask what if to the most as Dale Earnhardt enters the twilight of his illustrious career.
In real life, 2001
yeah, I mean,
year where
you know,
brought NASCAR to the forefront.
You know what's even crazier? I could have used footage of those HD videos that have come out recently. Those are sick, man. How cool is that? Did you all see the new Rockingham one recently? But yeah, video's quiet? Okay.
The 2000 season kicked off the new decade with a bang. Rusty Wallace.
I upped the speaker audio just a little more. Let me know if that fixed anything. Just trying to find a good balance.
We saw several new stars make their mark with a deep rookie class. The next generation of stock car racing is slowly.
It's kind of like when I do
now,
audio for the news.
A year packed.
But yeah,
it's time to find out who will rise.
We thought it would be really fun to get
first up, as usual,
Griff involved with the intro there, because of just, you know, he's the reason this series happened, and, you know, especially with 2001 and everything else, and Dale, so that was awesome.
Moving from IMSA to the new Grand American Racing brand, as the league was affiliated with NASCAR and ISC. As such, the co-sanctioned series now becomes the Grand Am Kodak Stock GT Series. As we take a look at the schedule, nothing changes from 2000 to 2001. It is still the same 10 races in its same order. As the
Why do you do the Stock GT Series first?
And ends in Riverside.
We just kind of go in order of lower series. So we felt like Stock GT just went first, and then just kind of like a build up. So like, you know, Stock GT, then Super Sportsman, then Truck. Then, you know, a little stopgap with IROC. Then really build up the anticipation with Busch. Then Cup. So, of course, gotta save Cup for last, right? So,
Sean Woodside in the 2, and Jeff Davis in the
let's
85. As Davis reunites.
Racing with any idea what if Steve Park never got hurt?
Other notable story
yeah, I mean, Steve Park's definitely a major what if, because I think I always thought he was good, but just had a lot of bad luck.
They turn to their own sports car world. Corvette Racing is entering the Stock GT Series to become the new Chevrolet flagship with support from Richard Childress.
Hey, Rose
They will
Jim.
build 2 cars in 2001. Firstly, Boris said moves from Ford to Chevy to drive the number 22 America Online
When's
car.
the second stream gonna be? Again, probably, I can't confirm, but probably sometime later this month or so.
The number 33 CorvetteRacing.com car.
So, yeah.
Replacing Boris said at Irvin Simo Racing is an intriguing rookie, Christian Fittipaldi. The Brazilian driver.
Yep, Steve Park's in the Busch Series, yeah.
To pursue NASCAR racing, as he did in real life. He takes over the number 4 car. The other 2 rookies he'll compete with are Larry Foyt, who goes full-time in the number 41 Harris Pontiac for AJ Foyt, as well as Alfonso Ribeiro, who will attempt a full season for Hollywood Motorsports. As for the Cheever 52 vacated by Beretta, that ride is taken over by Tom Hubert, with All-American Racers closing their team. Lastly, for the full-timers, Scott Brayton leaves Team Menard to return to open wheel racing, and his car is taken over by Anthony Lazzaro, with Lazzaro's old PPI seat going to David Donahue. As for our part-timers, veterans Andy Pilgrim and Elliott Forbes Robinson will continue their entries into Stock GT, but a certain other driver will make a one-off in the series at the season opener in Daytona. A driver who just came away with a 4th place finish driving alongside Pilgrim in the Rolex 24. That's right, the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt, will run the season opener in a 3rd Corvette racing car, the same bright yellow number 3 that he wheeled in the endurance race.
And it's interesting because, like,
let's now move on to the highlights of
Dale
the season
Earnhardt,
as we start off at Daytona with
I
Tony
think
Ave
he
scoring the
wanted
pole
to
for
do
the season
more
opener. And the
sports
first
car
pole
stuff
for Dodge
after
in
he
the Stock
retired,
GT series.
you know?
Here's the first
And
lap of the 2001 season.
I think pretty sure he wanted to do Le Mans at some point. Steve Park was top 10 in points until he got involved in a Busch practice crash. Yeah, I mean, again, just he's a very unlucky driver, you know, super talented and just had, you know, some terrible luck along the way. His career definitely could have played out a lot differently, especially if,
Ave would lead the
you know,
first couple of
Dale
laps
was still
until
here.
Scott Pruitt took the lead from him on lap 3.
Does NASCAR Thunder
Then a
2002
few laps
happen in this
later,
timeline?
Ave
Yeah.
took it back.
Yeah, 100%.
Early on, it was
It still
a battle
happens.
between Pruitt, Ave, and Boris Said. On lap
You know,
12,
the EA
there was a
Sports
pileup
Thunder
on the
games,
backstretch chicane
all that
as
still
Ron
happens.
Fellows and Alfonso Ribeiro lost
Whee!
control, and a few others, such as Sean Woodside and Amy Rumman. All the leaders except Mark Simo and Chris Neville stayed out, and shortly after the restart, Andy Pilgrim began to slow up going down the backstretch, causing him and Dale Earnhardt to get together. Earnhardt did drive away, but Cat Teasdale slammed into Pilgrim and Larry Foyt slammed into
Ouch.
Teasdale to bring out the caution. Things then settled down as Scott Pruitt held on to the lead. He would then pit with 5 to go and would come up a couple of laps short as P.J. Jones, Paige Jones's brother, finally earns his first ever win in the Stock GT Series to kick off 2001. The defending Stock GT champion, Mark Simo, started on the
Good old
pole for
P.J.
the second race of
Jones.
the season at Sebring, and while he had the car to beat, he was in hot pursuit with Darren Brassfield and Ron Fellows.
Love
Tried
these
to
cars
fight
for
the lead,
Stock
but
GT
never
as
got
well.
that good a look. It seemed like fuel would play a factor, with the pit cycle being at the halfway point. With that, Scott Pruitt and rookie Christian Fittipaldi
Let's
stayed
see.
out
What
to
new
try
thing
to
will
catch some
2002
fuel
bring?
up. But for the original leader,
Good question.
it was
We'll have
just
to
not a concern.
Kind of wait and see.
Mark Simo went on to lead almost every lap, and the defending champion
Yeah, I definitely-
wins at Sebring. as
I
he
love
looks
bringing in
to
the names
go
of the
back-to-back.
races just for lore's sake.
In the next
you know,
race at Portland, we had a
I
fun
literally
battle
have a
between
Google
two
sheet
great
of,
road ringers.
you know, what the race names are, a sheet for a general calendar, a sheet for like paint scheme schedules, part-time schedules.
Where Ron
you know,
Fellows short pitted.
We want to make sure that this is very detailed and very well done, obviously.
They went side by side into the chicane following the stop, and Fellows took the lead a few corners later. And while Boris Said had fresher tires, he had the worst car, as Ron Fellows pulls ahead to earn a much-needed win
Ron.
after surprisingly going winless in Stock GT last year. It was a calm, long-run race at Line Rock.
Of course, a reminder,
It featured
he's got a
wild
cup win
start.
in this timeline.
Christian Fittipaldi, the rookie for Urban Simo Racing in the Ford, started on the pole, but the start saw a lot of contact.
Did the
in
2001
turn
Fox
one.
NBC
Last
deal
top
happen
two,
in this universe
Fellows
like in
and
real
Said
life?
both got
Yes.
forced wide into
Yep,
turn one,
100%.
with
Fox
Said
and
spinning
NBC
out.
still
Battle on the front
still
row
do
was
that.
between
Especially,
Fittipaldi
you
and
know,
his boss
that
and
was what
teammate,
truly
Mark Simo.
put NASCAR on an even bigger spotlight than ever before. And with how different things have been, I mean, now at this point, I'd argue that in Sunday Night Lights, NASCAR is probably competing in the fall with the NFL, you know, in terms of the ratings. So, NASCAR's
Montreal
a
always tends to be the
bigger
wildest
deal than what it
race
was in
season,
real life at that
and
point,
this
I'd
trend
argue.
continued
So
for 2001,
that's what
as
excites me
Forsythe
about the
started
coming
on the
seasons,
pole,
right?
with Alfonso
So
Ribeiro starting an impressive third and having a career day
where's
running
Christian
top
Elder
10
in this
the whole race.
timeline?
Scott Pruitt started
He
second,
was
took the
running
lead on the
part-time
start, and
in the
defended it
Busch
from
Series
P.J. Jones.
for Means Racing.
Corvette Racing had an off day with Boris losing
Which, by the way,
and
did you all?
Olivia
I didn't know
Loretta
this.
forced to pit early
Did
after
you all
hitting
see
the wall
that
in turn 3.
D Gooden video
Later
of
in
the
race,
Great
Pruitt
Clips
took the
racing
lead
game that
on
had
the
Christian
first
Elder
pit
in it?
stops, but he was close on
Man,
the pole.
I love
And
stuff
the
like
same was
that
said
because
with
it's
Rodney
like
Hampton, who jumped to second in the
even
pit
like
circle.
stuff like
Pruitt
that
was, in
makes
fact,
Christian
not
a guy like
good
Christian
and had
Elder
to
a
pit
bigger
before
deal.
to go, with Ganassi's Tony Ave taking the lead. He, Darren Brasfield, and Anthony Lazaro were the 3 to stretch
Does the
their
game
field.
Great Clips 500
But
still
Brasfield
happen?
ran out and had to
Yeah,
pit.
but probably
Ave
not
and
with
Lazaro
Christian Elder
stretched it on
since
the
he
fields
did
as
not
Tony
drive
Ave
that car
gets
in
his
2001.
first career stock GT win for Ganassi, and also earns Dodge their first
So,
stock GT
give me
victory.
a second here.
Halfway through the season, Mark Simo held a 30-point lead over Ganassi's Sean Woodside, despite his teammate just
But,
winning a race. Scott Pruitt
Yeah,
sits
so
back by
instead it would
34,
probably be Ricky
Darren Brasfield
Johnson,
and P.J. Jones
who
rounding
still
out
is in the
top
38
5
here.
in the standings.
But yeah,
At Mid-Ohio, Ron Fellows and Scott Pruitt shared
Ricky
the
Johnson
front
from
row,
Elkhorn,
with
California,
Scott
but not
Pruitt
related to
pulling away
Jimmy.
early. However, on the first lap, Dorsey Schrader ran into David Donahue going
I've been to
into
Mid-Ohio a
turn.
few times.
Mike Borkowski was also collected, and Amy Rumman.
Oh, hi,
was
Alex. I
against
forgot he went
Victor
live.
running into
Nah, it's all
Donahue.
good. It's all good.
Paul Gentilozzi and Rick Ware got some damage too, as the caution had to be waived for the pileup. Afterwards, Pruitt was running away with it all the way until the caution came out around the halfway point for Larry Foyt blowing his engine. Everyone except for Darren Brasfield, David Donahue, and Paul
Any update on an
Gentilozzi
all-time
quit,
win chart
handing
for the
lead to
series?
Brasfield. However, Brasfield couldn't make it to the
Still
end,
working on that,
handing
but
the lead to Donahue.
we'll
However,
still work in
that
progress,
same
but we'll
lap,
get that out
Scott Pruitt
as soon as we can.
zoomed right past the 25
Let's
and
see.
would run away with the win.
Oh, thank you
at
for
Mid-Ohio.
thank you, Jed, for the
David Donahue
public
would
roster
hang on
sheet.
for second with a banged-up race car. P.J. Jones started on the pole in Topeka, but it was the outside
let's
sitter,
see.
Jeff Davis,
Will
blew him
IROC
from the
live
start.
past
He had the car
2006?
to beat after a rough start
That
to
is the
season.
intent.
Davis
Yes.
pulled away, while the title
But the
contenders
form
battled each other
of
for
what
second,
it'll look
while
like
the 85
is
pulled
still
ahead
kind of
and
up in the
didn't
air.
look back.
So
Jeff
we're
Davis
still
gets
some
his
time
first
away
win
from
of the
that,
season,
obviously.
his
But I
first
can
lead
tell you
merged
that
into Ganassi's
yes,
team. This marked his fifth
IROC
career
will
win
continue beyond
in the Stock
2006.
GT series.
That's the plan.
Borised got another pole at Watkins Glen and had a thrilling battle alongside his title rival Scott Pruitt. On lap 5, they were side by side for multiple corners, with Borised defending before Pruitt got the better of him on lap 8. In fact, our top 4 in points all ran in a row at one point between Pruitt, Sed, Fellows, and Simo. Pruitt couldn't run away in the short run, but did extend his lead in the second half.
I was very
Scott
surprised to
Pruitt
see
wins
Larry
his
Ford in
second
Stock
race of the
GT.
season to increase his points lead.
So,
with his teammate
fun
Ron
fact,
Fellows finishing second for a Sapco
earlier in
Car
his
2
racing
as they
career,
both pursue the title.
he actually ran in the USAC Formula
As the
2000
season winds
series,
down, we
and
have
he
a
also
very
won a couple
competitive season
SCCA
on our
races in
hands.
1999.
Sapco and Urban
So,
Simo have led the
he's
way.
got a little bit of road course
Jim
background
Jones
in
started
him,
on the
so
pole in the desert, but owner and teammate Mark Simo pulled away for a time. However,
yeah,
pit strategy
Racing
got
Infinity
tricky
40, we
as
wanted to make
right
that
at
a
the
special
halfway
one since
point,
that was kind of like a
we had
milestone one.
caution
So,
for Larry Foyt turned around
you know,
in turn
glad you
1.
guys
Simo
glad you guys
continued
enjoyed
with
that because I
Olivia
thought that was
Loretta
a
having the
really
best
fun
race
one to
of
put
his career
together.
behind, looking for
Because
his
you know,
first win.
obviously it's kind of
Led the
cursed
race,
thinking like
the leaders needed
Dale
to
Earnhardt
get
driving
it
for the king, but
Simo still
can't help but
put
wonder,
on
right?
pit
So,
road,
you know.
but one driver managed
Yeah, there's
to
a little
beat
fun
the
fact
odds
about
and
Larry
stretch
Foyt
the
for you.
field. And
That,
it was the pole sitter. After starting out in front, but
I always
losing
get
the
excited
lead,
whenever a V8
P.J.
supercar
Jones
driver
comes
makes a
back to win
cameo.
his second
Yeah.
win of the season and
It's
of
fun
his career.
figuring out like what
Perhaps
international
he
drivers
could
we could bring
surprise
in.
enter the title fight, but he
So,
got his teammates some points in
yeah.
the process.
So it's definitely a lot of
As the
fun.
season winds down, we have a very competitive championship fight. And with that, Scott Pruitt held a 29-point lead going into Riverside over Boris Sed and a 54-point lead over teammate Ron Fellows. P.J. Jones and Mark Simo are also mathematically in the picture, but a lot would have
Was
to
Larry
happen
Floyd
if he wanted
floundering
to
in
take
a
home the
NASCAR
title.
in NASCAR a
Scott
problem with
Pruitt
him or
started
with
on
his
the
dad's
pole
team?
and led the field to the green flag for the season finale at Riverside.
You know,
However,
people will
Mark
argue
Simo
both ways.
pulled ahead of Pruitt.
I think Larry could have used a little more development. You know,
Despite
obviously
Mark Simo
AJ's
leading
NASCAR
the
team
first half
wasn't
of
the
race,
greatest
Scott Pruitt
at the
got
time,
very close.
but
Then halfway through the race,
you
Simo
know,
made
sometimes
his
things
green
just don't
flag
work
pit
out.
stop,
You know,
but he stalled on pit road, causing him to have a 45-second stop that would cost him the win. It came down to Scott Pruitt and Boris Said in the closing laps, but in the end,
I also
Said
really
was
enjoy
proud,
playing
and
around in
Scott
sandbox
Pruitt
and
would pull away
you know, updating the
to
tracks,
win at Riverside
making them more
and
modern.
take home the Grand Am Kodak Stock GT Series
You know, I've
Championship
figured out
for
all sorts of
2001.
different things, and
In just his sophomore
like,
season in the series,
I've made a few more visual updates, by the way, for 02. Not gonna say what they are, but I have made a few more visual updates just to kind of, you know, get with the times a little more.
Celebrations back at the Team Sapco shop with this one, as we now take a look at the winners and the final standings from the 2001 Grand Am Kodak Stock.
I admit, I like doing
season.
this where I can just try and control the car
Had the
and
most wins this
drive it
season
into
with
victory
3.
lane like that.
Mark Simo and PJ Jones
It's
both
not
collectively
perfect because,
2.
you know, the car kind of wiggles
Scott
around
Pruitt
when you
leads
use the
the
keyboard,
championship
but
by 49 points
still,
over Boris
I like
Said,
doing little things like that.
89
And of course, the
points over
burnouts
Juan
too.
Fellows. Christian Fittipaldi had a solid Rookie of the Year season, finishing in 6th. We now move on to the 2001 NASCAR DuPont Super Sportsman Series season. As last season, we saw a breakout season for J.D. Gibbs.
Let's see.
As he took home the title for his
Yeah,
father's
so Kyle Busch
organization.
doesn't have any of those
Gibbs will be
worries,
running
so
the Busch
he
Series
just
in
runs a
2001,
part-time truck schedule
so the
without
title
having
is
to
up for
worry
grabs,
about dealing with
and it is
the
anticipated
Tabasco
there will be
companies and
many
stuff like
in the
that.
running for it.
Tobacco
Taking a
companies.
quick look
See,
at
the lack of
schedule,
sleep's catching on.
there are
Have
any
you guys figured it
changes
out?
to it outside of I-70, Bristol, and Nazareth being
I do like Tabasco hot
as the
sauce, but come on.
schedule changed at 23 races,
Quite the Tabasco
with the season
fiasco I
starting
have
at
going
Walt
on here.
Disney
Haha.
World and ending at the Daytona Superstretch.
I just simulated the
The
1985
Super
World
Sportsman
600
Series has a
Texas
lot of
Cherry 1 for
storylines
Billy
heading
Hagan.
into
Nice.
2001.
Nice.
Many of them center
I
around
love
the
seeing people do their own
manufacturers.
simulations
Dodge
and
makes their first
see what they come up
appearance in the
with.
Super Sportsman Series with a
Just, it
trio
just shows
of
there's so many different
full-time
possibilities,
teams.
right?
As previously mentioned, Jarrett Favre Motorsports switches to Dodge with Kirk Shelton
Tabasco
and
companies.
Jason Jett remaining in their rides.
Oh,
Now,
man.
the Dodge Stratus. Dodge will also be
IndyCar and
bringing
F1
PBC
drivers?
Racing into their fold. With the
Oh,
57
yeah.
car of
Obviously, yeah.
Kevin Grubb making
We've
the
kept
switch.
guys like Ayrton Senna still
PBC
around.
also brings in Yellow Freight as a new sponsor. As for the third Dodge
Has
team,
Texas World
it's a big story.
been made more modern
Elliott
looking?
Racing making its return to the series
Stay
as
tuned.
Ham's development team.
We did Louisiana and
This team will run
SoCal.
the
Will they go
94
next?
Sonic Dodge full
Also,
trial,
stay
and will
tuned.
be driven by last year's breakout star,
That's all I'm going to say.
Justin
Just stay
Labonte.
tuned.
The young Labonte makes the switch to Dodge. We'll talk
Let's
more
see.
about
I'm going
why
to simulate
later.
more random
LET
cup
will
races
also
while I
field the
watch. I'll
second
tell you the
car
results if
in
you
the
don't
races
mind.
for Jason
No, I mean, you know,
Rudd,
it's just fun chatting with you
nephew
guys. So,
of
yeah,
the new
100%.
Everham driver,
100%.
Ricky Rudd. Now, with that said,
I mean,
Dodge
Team
is
Tabasco
again
does happen, and they kind
when it
of,
comes to new
ended up
manufacturers.
the same way. I
But
don't
the
think a
other
whole lot
story is
really
a bit
changes.
different.
So,
Another new manufacturer enters the Super Sportsman Series in a limited capacity.
what was the quote from Game
That
Grumps?
being Toyota.
What kind of car
In
do
real
I
life,
drive?
Toyota's
A
history in
Toyota.
NASCAR began in 2001
Funny
with
joke.
a trial run
Anyway.
in the Goodies Dash Series, where they supported 3 independent drivers.
Yeah, we were
Well,
excited to
what
show you
they
guys
did
that
the
we were
same
going to
in Super Sportsman.
bring Toyota into
3
Super
drivers,
Sportsman.
including 2 rookies, will run cars branded as Toyota Celicas this season. First is Andy Houston, who joins the program from the closing Kranefuss team.
I will
He was
say
number 6,
California does have a
sponsored by
good-
State Fair. Toyota's second driver
What's the right
is
term?
the champ of the
They
Dodge
have a
Series
good
himself, Robert
showing for NASCAR in
the
this
short track
timeline.
star and 4-time
So,
champion,
you got
brings his
Riverside,
number
which
37
covers,
White
like,
House team
The
to
Bay
the
Area,
Super
San
Sportsman
Francisco,
Series.
and all that.
And lastly
Um,
is one of Toyota's own.
That's Sonoma.
driver who
You
came
got
to the US
Riverside
to race
still
stock
alive and
cars,
well.
Takuma
Um,
Koga, the
And then
24-year-old
SoCal
won
Speedrome,
99
you know,
for the
so
Toyota program.
Riverside represents kind of
Toyota's in a
LA,
different
and then
situation, where they're
SoCal with
smaller
San
than
Diego.
Dodge,
So,
for now at least. Time will
you know,
tell when they could rise
and obviously
to the
California is a
themselves,
massive state,
just as
you know.
Dodge did.
I think
Moving to other
driving
big
from,
storylines,
you know,
another is
north
that
to
Joe
south or
Gibbs
south to
Racing.
north takes like
As
8, 9, 10
previously
hours.
mentioned,
So,
the champion, J.D.
it's
Gibbs,
a big state,
moves up
but
to the Busch Series, and replacing him in the 17 car is a driver who needed a new opportunity, Billy Venturini. He makes the switch from AK Racing after a few solid seasons as he looks to take his next step. The
Let's
vacated number
see.
7 for
Who
AK,
drove
on
the
the other hand,
35
is given
in
to a rookie, one of
1998?
Kawicki's fellow Wisconsinites, Scott Wimmer.
Oh, yeah. Todd Bodine
Wimmer
drove that
moves up
car.
From the ASA ranks
Todd
to
Bodine drove the
join
35
Kawicki's
in
team, with
98
ABNA expanding their
Sunday
sponsorship
Night Lights.
to include this car. There's 2 more drivers who will contend for the Rookie of the Year award, and one is replacing Ricky Hendrick at his father's team. With Ricky moving into another series,
My friends and I have been running a sim from 2003 onward. The biggest change from IRL driver-wise is that Scott Riggs is in the 31, and Janley's been on par with Harvick in terms of performance. Ooh, okay, nice.
Childress Racing opens a second car, the number 3,
I love stuff like that.
sponsored by Twizzlers through the Hershey Company. Driving this car will be a
Toyota expanded 2002 and 2004.
a lot.
Stay tuned with the Toyota stuff. Obviously, you know, now that they're in NASCAR, you know, some stuff we're still anchoring away there. So,
as for notable part-timers, Angela and Amber Cope.
who's winning the
Jared
ARCA
Cope's
titles?
will once again
Well, I
split
think
the
we're in the
second
time
car.
period where Frank Kimmel
Frank
goes on a
Jeff
tear.
Boltz, Randy
He's
Porter,
only doing
and
part-time
more.
in Super
All
Sportsman, so
together
I'd argue that
operations.
Kimmel probably still does
Small
full-time
team
ARCA and is
enters
still
the space.
probably,
Longtime
you know,
Northeast
dominating.
racer Martin Truex brings his family team to the series with the number 56 Sea-Watch Chevrolet. This car will be driven by none other than his son, Martin Truex Jr.
MTJ.
We are back at Disney World for the season opener
excuse
as
me.
Jason Jarrett started on the pole with Billy Venturini in his new JGR ride starting second. Jarrett
Scott Riggs coming to SNL. Scott Riggs is actually already in SNL. He's been running in the truck series.
The race. However, around lap 40, as
Will there be a
green flag
NASCAR
pit stops
dirt
were wrapping
series?
up, Billy Venturini just pit, lost control and slapped the wall.
I don't know. Probably not, just because we already have 6 series, but
Jason Jarrett and
you know.
Justin Labonte, a pair of Dodges.
Yeah, you never know, I suppose, but
first win in
I think
the
we're pretty much
series.
sticking with what we have.
3 laps to
But
go,
obviously, you know,
Justin
if there's
Labonte
anything
stuck to the
lore
outside
related that
of
makes
Jarrett
sense,
to battle
then,
for the lead.
you know, we can mention
Then
it in
coming back
passing
around
or
at 2
something
to
like
go,
that.
Justin Labonte took the lead, and he would go on to win at Walt Disney World, handing Dodge their
Texas
first
Justin
win in the series. The second race of the season was rather mellow as Billy Venturini started on the pole with Ron Barfield starting
The
second.
track known as The Rock.
Venturini dominated all
Can you
race
smell what The
long,
Rock is
and after
cooking?
green flag pit stops, Barfield was able to leapfrog Venturini.
The extreme
However,
dark tour in
with 4
SNL
laps
would
to
be a
go,
plot twist.
Venturini got around Barfield, and he would go on to get his first win of the season. Could this be a big year for Billy Venturini?
Shane Meal. He's due to pop up. I can't tell you when or where, but I'll say he is due to show up. I do kind of also have a sheet for keeping track of who shows up, you know, and stuff like that. So,
Then on lap 25, Ron Barfield took the lead and would lead until the caution came
Excuse
out
me.
during the first round of pit stops.
God,
Bobby
I just
Hamilton
love
Jr.
that,
and Kevin Grubb got
you
together
know,
trying to get
not
the
only
pit
does
road,
Atlanta
causing
keep this
Scott Wimmer to
configuration,
slam into Hamilton,
but
taking
I
the win
love the
out of
fact
race.
that, like,
Jason
I
Stewart
gave the
also
track
got
like a
collected
stadium
in the
feel
mess
to
as
it.
well.
I mean, sure, it's crazy, but, like,
right after
you know,
Grubb took the lead
with the
after
influence of
beating
the
an earlier incident.
International
Then 4
All-Star
laps later,
from
Travis
'96
Russell
and
took the lead all the way until the final
Atlanta
round
hosting the
of pit
finale and
stops
everything
on
else,
lap 69.
you know, I made it.
Jason
I
Jarrett
wanted to
would
make the
take
track
race
look
control
like
of the
a
lead
big
and
deal,
would
like,
run
you
away
know.
to his first win
So
of the
instead of
season.
Daytona becoming like the first motorsports
Bernie
stadium,
Sanders scored the
Atlanta
pole for the race
becomes the
at
first
I-70
motorsports stadium in
and
a
led
way.
for the first handful of
But,
laps.
you know,
But after that,
I love how
Jason
that all
Jarrett took the
kind
lead.
of together. That's pretty cool.
While the
So,
race was calm and Jason Jarrett
will
was
the
looking
prelude to the
strong,
dream still
he had
happen?
an issue on pit road
Yeah,
with
probably.
green flag
I would-
pit stops
I would say
and
so,
would go
probably.
a lap down. This handed the lead
Simulating
to
the 2010
at
Coke
first,
Zero
Nathan
400.
Hosline, but then got
Got
passed
hit.
by another
No, not
driver
Jemai.
in search of his first win, that being Travis Quaffle. Quaffle took the lead and never looked back as he went on to get his first career win at I-70 Speedway. Then in the
And
next
then in
race,
about
Bobby
20 plus
Hamilton
years,
Jr.
his son
started
will be
on the
racing
pole
in the
at
Super
Bristol.
Sportsman
Big
Series.
story
Sorry.
with Dodges. Both Jarrett Favre cars of Jason Jarrett
Oops,
and Kurt
spoilers.
Schilling were fast and led laps. But stealing the show was Jason Rudd, the part-time nephew of Ricky Rudd, who started 7th and found himself
Jason.
as high as 2nd. For a time, it even looked like he could find a way to steal a shock win, as Shelmerdine made an ill-timed long pitch strategy. But it was
Yeah, I would say some guys definitely still develop through ARCA,
and never
whose son?
back. Jason Jarrett is our
I was making a joke about Travis Quaffle and joking, saying like his son's going to be running Super Sportsman 20 years from now in SNL. Carson Quaffle, right? So,
while Nazareth is a place
not sure how much of this has been spotted in the videos, but fun fact, there is a mural for the 96 All-Star. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. So obviously you noticed that I used a more updated version of Nazareth. This is the Nazareth 2017 track. Because I just, from a visual standpoint, it looked better. So I just wanted to use that version. So,
Upstate New York
little fun fact for you there. Has anyone attempted to do the Indy Coke 600 double? I would say so. We just really haven't talked about it, but I would probably say so.
She did have a career day, leading the first
Matt Kenseth, Greg Biffle finished 1-2 for Jack Roush. Oh, just like the 2012 Daytona 500, right? Except, well, no, because I think Junior was second, because Junior got past Biffle there coming to the finish.
Jared was among the first,
almost like it, yeah.
But made contact on pit road with the lapped Bobby Gearhart. He kept going, but had an
Andy Lally got 7. Yeah, 2011 Sprint Cup Rookie of the Year, baby.
Who was pushed wide coming to pit road by Jeff Purvis.
Driving for TRG.
Into the pit wall,
Ow.
Andy Houston along the way.
Bonk.
Amid the chaos, it was Scott Wimmer who had the fastest car on track and climbed to second before Jarrett's problem, taking the lead. Wimmer would dominate the rest of the day for his first career win in the series. Our third first-time winner in 9 races. And off pit strategy, we had 2 big surprises in the top 10. Those being Martin Truex Jr. in just his second start, finishing 8th, as well as Takuma Koga in 9th. And a couple of races later, and for the second time this season, Angie Wilson sat on the pole, showing her.
Speaking of international drivers, Maverick Cup ties a record on March 24 with 9 countries represented the field. Oh, nice! That's awesome.
Way to the front quick after having a good qualifying run. Robert Huffman, who took the 37 car to the lead for a few laps and gave Toyota their first laps led in NASCAR as part of their Upstart program. 3 longer runs.
Yeah, it was cool to see Huffman put Toyota in the spotlight right there.
Travis Quaffle, Jason Schuler, and
I still can't believe I watched Biffle win the 2006 Busch California race like a few days before he died. I'm still trying to. Sometimes I'm still trying to realize that he's no longer with us. But I've loved all the. I love all the tributes that are being made for him. So.
Dillon taking the lead. But then Jason Schuler taking it
SNL
right
Kevin
back.
Conway be as unstoppable as he was in real life?
Schuler took the lead again, and this time
never know, right?
Thanks to traffic. Jason Schuler gets his
Kevin Conway, 2010 Rookie of the Year,
the 9th winner in the first half of this season. At IRP, the outside line always seems to prevail, and this race was no different, with Bobby Hamilton Jr. on pole, but falling quick on the start to the outside line of Ron Barfield Jr. and Scott Wimmer, who were the class of the field today.
I always kind of laughed there's a Bob and Tom billboard on this track.
Almost the whole race.
That's a
lap traffic did bunch up the
nationally syndicated morning talk show that's been on for many years. And just funny show.
Wimmer looked for opportunities, but just never.
And they're based out of Indianapolis.
As Ron Barfield Jr. closes it out, becomes the first driver to win 3 races in this very competitive season. Taking a look at the standings after IRP, Kirk Shelmerdine has the points lead over Ron Barfield by just 30 points. Then, back by 72 points, is rookie Nathan Hosley. Justin Labonte and Travis Quaffle are also in the running as well. For the next race, we head down I-65 to Louisville, as Mike Dillon started on the pole with Jason Rudd starting next to him. There was a caution on lap 2 for Cincinnati native Jeff Fultz getting turned by Takuma Koga. Then Mike Dillon took off with the lead. But as he began to work on lap traffic, Jason
It's
Roy
kind of
and
funny.
Nathan Hosley were reeling him
When
in.
I lived in Louisville as a
Rudd was
kid,
looking for his big
I think
moment,
I
but
lived
before
about
he could,
5 minutes
the
from where this
caution
track
came out
was.
with 6 laps to go after
Or
Robert
something like
Huffman
that.
turned
I was very
Shane
close.
Hall, which had fourth
But
place Justin Labonte
didn't realize it
collected.
until it was too late.
Labonte was shuffled to ninth, while Mike Dillon took home the win in the Derby City. 2 races later at North Wilkesboro, we had multiple winless drivers up front with this one, as Hermie Sadler started on the pole with Rich Bickle and Angie Wilson near the front. We had exciting fights for second involving Bickle and Wilson, and later drivers like Venturini and Quaffle. But the front of the field was all 43, as Hermie Sadler dominates at North Wilkesboro to get back in the win column for the first time this season.
Hermie.
As we hit the final 5 races, we had a thriller.
Hey, it's
in this
Memphis.
one, where not
Oh,
many times
don't tell
did
LeBron,
the
guys.
factor rate.
Sorry, I
The
had
battle
to.
was between pole sitter Billy Venturini and rookie star Travis Quaffle, as they exchanged the lead multiple times. Caution during
Let me
pit stops
see
for
here.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. and
What's going to
Ashley
become of
Lewis
Vickers?
shifted the field a bit. Unfortunately for Quaffle,
He will be there, but
while
we're just not
Venturini
going to
was
make a big
third
deal out of
behind
it.
Hermie Sadler and Angie Wilson. Once again,
Yeah,
Angie
so
Wilson
just not going to make it a big
managed to
deal.
find her way to the lead on the long run, but this time it looked like she could run for the win late, until one driver came in with a rocket, and his name was Kevin Grubb. Grubb in the PPC 57 restarted ninth after the caution and worked his way up through lap traffic and caught Wilson with 7 to go. Grubb took the lead and earned his first career lap sled with 5 to go, looking for a first career upset win, and he would make the pass and hold her off. Kevin Grubb comes from nowhere for his first career
it was kind of
win
cool to
at
see
Memphis.
Kevin Grubb pick up a win.
Much needed one for this young PPC team as well. Angie Wilson, meanwhile, continues her career year with another second place finish, but she just can't seem to get that first win. After Memphis, this title fight has gotten quite interesting. As Kirk Shelmerdine wrecked and DNF'd at Martinsville, he dropped from 1st to 5th. He is still in the running, but this championship battle has gotten very entertaining, as currently the rookie, Nathan Hosley, currently leads it. In the 20th race of the season at Hickory, Travis Quaffle started on the pole and led for about 30 laps at the beginning. That was until Rich Bickle would take the lead from him. Bickle ran into some trouble
Memphis-
around lap 75.
Memphis has been putting on
Turned
some
lap
pretty
car
solid
Tracy
races, I'm not
Leslie
going to lie.
to bring out the caution during
Again,
the
nobody
pit
tell
stops.
LeBron.
After this, only a handful of cars were on the lead lap as it came down to Rich Bickle and Nathan Hosley. Hosley was right on the back of Bickle with 5 to go, but went down pit road for a
Wait,
splash
he's
and
saying
go.
bad things about
Bickle,
Milwaukee
however,
now?
would hang on, not needing to pit, as Rich Bickle picks up his first Super Sportsman win since 1997 at Hickory. This also marks the first win for Herzog Motorsports. It's the
Rich
second
Bickle.
to last race of the season, and it's time to make that final push to the championship. Can
They
anyone
were
catch the
the
king of
field
consistency,
fillers.
Nathan Hosley? Jason Jarrett and Ron Barfield led the field to the green flag, but immediately it was Quaffle and Dillon on the offensive. Jarrett led the first 11 laps until Mike Dillon would take the lead. Quaffle would then
Who is this
slide into
LeBron
second,
person?
But 18 laps later, here came Justin Labonte from out of nowhere.
Who do you think could
Scott
win the
Passwell
titles of
forced
each
smart
NASCAR
cars
series
to
in
take the lead,
SNL02?
trying to stay in the championship fight, much like Mike Dillon.
See, that's a tough question because
On
I
lap
know
62,
who won.
Big fight pit stops were
all but
underway
2 of
as
the titles
Justin
so far.
Labonte made his stop. Dillon made
But
his
I do
stop
appreciate
a
the
lap
question.
later.
Although,
Labonte would continue
I think that could be a
all
fun
the way
question
to
for
caution
everybody,
on lap
for
75.
everybody to answer. I think that could
Kevin
be
Grubb
cool.
turned
What do you
Robert
guys
Huffman
think? You
and
know,
was hit on the
who do you guys
side
think?
by Bill
Who do you guys think
Jr.,
are going to win the
causing
championships in
Huffman
2002?
to roll over a couple
I'd love to hear
times.
what you guys have to say. That'd be
Labonte
cool.
would lead the field back to the green on lap 80, with Travis Quaffle
Will they actually
second,
happen in
Hermie
SNL?
Sadler third, and Mike
We'll cross
Dillon
that bridge when we
fourth.
get there.
Then after another restart, Mike Dillon finally caught up to Justin Labonte and took the lead, and Mike Dillon would go on to win at Nashville. Nathan Hosley holds his point lead by 89 points over Sadler, Dillon, and Justin Labonte, who's back by 99. With the smaller field for the Daytona Superstretch, Hosley is going to need a major error to lose the title. but Sadler, Dillon, and Labonte all have an even shot at second and can maybe pounce with good luck. And here we are, the season finale for the 2001 DuPont Super Sportsman Series season. We kick things off with our B main as Bobby
Are there any
Gearhart
drivers in
scored the
SNL you
pole
root
with
for
Jason
and want to give
running
extra
second.
help to?
But
Well, we
in
got to
the
be
race
realistic
Hill,
with the ratings,
the
right?
champion,
I have to just let the races run.
he would go on
Now,
to take the
is there
win
certain drivers that I root for that I want to
Top eight
see
advanced
succeed?
are Frank
Sure.
Kimmel, Marshall
But
Gosling,
I just have to let the
Jason
races
Rudd,
happen.
Bobby
So,
Gearhart, Tina
you know,
Gordon, Takuma
whatever
Koga,
happens, right?
Angela Cope, and Curtis Markham. And now for the main event.
Stephen
as
Rhodes.
Jason
Oh,
Jarrett
yeah,
and
yeah.
Scott Wimmer
He'll
led
probably
the
show
field
up
to
at some
the
point.
green flag for the final
Like I said,
time
you know,
in 2001.
we'll get there when we get there.
Jarrett quickly took over the lead with Billy Venturini taking second. That 1-2 would stay the same all throughout the race as Nathan Hosley started 19th and worked his way through the field. Jason Jarrett would close out 2001 with his third win of the season, and a rookie that came out of nowhere would take home the championship, and that being Nathan Hosley. Your 2001
What did LeBron
DuPont
say about
Super
Memphis and
Sportsman
Milwaukee?
Series champion.
He was saying
He was a
like
very solid and
he basically was saying like
consistent
he's too
season
good for
was
places like
consummated,
Memphis and
as Rick
Milwaukee.
Hendrick might have
He's saying
another
like, you know,
prospect on
I'm
his
41
hands.
years old and I'm being put up in a
Hosley
high
finishes
ed
the season with
saying the
one win,
Grizzlies should
10
move to
top
Nashville,
fives,
and I'm like,
18 top 10s,
I get that
an average
Memphis isn't
finish
the
of
greatest place, but
7.87. He wins the
like,
title over Mike Dillon by 68
you know,
points.
every city has their
With Nathan
problems.
Hosley's championship, Rick Hendrick
But it just
might
kind
have
of
another prospect
it kind
on
of
his
screams to me
hands.
that
And with
this
that,
is how you feel
here are all
about
the
2/3
winners and your
of the
final
league.
standings for the
Yeah, he called the
2001
cities boring.
NASCAR
Yeah.
DuPont
Says the guy who
Super
plays for the
Sportsman
Lakers.
Series
Yeah.
season. It was a fun
I'm nowhere near that
competitive season as
objective.
we
I
had
just give Andy
13
Hillenberg
different
100s
winners
across the
in
board.
23 races.
Based.
Mike Dillon, Ron Barfield Jr., and Jason Jarrett all tied with 3 wins, but it was a very stat competitive field. Billy Venturini had a good year, finishing 4th in the standings, and some of the Dodge folks like Labonte and Jarrett were very impressive. Kevin Grubb could be another driver to look out for in the Dodge camp moving forward, as he finished a solid 12th in the standings. The Toyota guys also kept it in good standing, finishing 17th, 18th, and 19th in the standings, and certainly a lot to build upon heading into 2002. Next up is the 2001 NASCAR Craftsman Super Truck Series season, as we had an exciting championship battle in 2000. Chris Trickle was able to take home the title in his hometown after Tim Richmond ran out of fuel late in the going. Trickle will also move up to the Busch Series this season, as Tim Richmond will be looking for redemption. There is one notable change to the schedule for 2001, as it expands to 25 races.
Winston Cup champion
Newest
Kelly
addition to
Earnhardt
the
would
Super
feed
Truck
generations.
is the brand
Absolutely
new
it
Nashville
would.
Superspeedway, located in the suburbs of Nashville. We will talk more about this track a little later. There are no
Nashville.
other changes outside of Nashville. The biggest story
Every damn
this
Gosling.
season was the formation of a new team that looks to contend for wins right away. Following his Winston Cup retirement, Darrell Waltrip decides to sell his Truck Series operation to another Winston Cup driver, that being the best of them all, Rusty Wallace. Rusty Wallace Incorporated enters the series earlier than Real Life as a result of his monumental success, where they will serve as the de facto Penske truck team. Ted Musgrave will drive one of their trucks, now the number 63, sponsored by Subway. Their second truck, on the other hand, goes to a rookie with quite the notable name in the Ford camp, John Wood, the 19-year-old son of Glenn Wood. He will drive the number 66 truck, sponsored by Air Force. This new team will also enter a part-time truck, the number 6 Harley-Davidson Ford, and this will feature a few short track races for Stedman Marlin, the son of Rusty's teammate Sterling Marlin, and in addition to him, the Winston Cup champ himself, Rusty Wallace, will run 2 races in the Super Truck Series, the season opener at Daytona, and his home race, Gateway. We'll touch more on this later, but Rusty Wallace will become the first driver to attempt 3 races in the same weekend this season, doing so at Gateway in October. Another big story heading into the season involves the championship-winning truck. The 94 at Irvin Simo opens up with Chris Trickle moving up to the Busch Series. Replacing him in it is a rookie who scored an upset win last season as a part-timer, Scott Bloomquist. The Dirt Ace scored a surprise speedway win at Texas World for DEI, and he moves to Urban.
How did Sterling end up at Penske? So when Junior Johnson sold off his team, Marlin was with Junior Johnson at the time, and his team went to Penske, while Irvin, who was in the 11, went to Alan Kulwicki.
Doesn't end there, though.
So that's basically what happened there.
Series newcomers. Over at Dodge, Ken Schrader's 52 truck opens up.
I like the music I used for the truck series.
A Winston Cup comeback this
I was glad I found that one.
We'll talk more about it later. His 52 truck is taken over by a driver who's won in both the Busch Series and Stock GT. Willie T. Ribbs.
Anything can happen in SNL. Amen. Amen.
2 seasons, Ribbs decides to take a step down to the Super Truck Series with the goal of returning to victory lane. Rounding out the rookie class, we have Coy Gibbs going full-time in his father's truck, Matt Crafton, who will run a second truck for Bobby Hamilton Racing, Bobby Daughter, who will drive for his own team, Greenlight Racing, and Austin Cameron, the Winston West star, who takes over Bill McAnally's truck. As part of a unique deal, that truck gets rebranded
Sterling Marlin
26.
Name his child Stead Woman if he had a girl.
Partnering family team, 62 Orleans Racing Truck. Lastly, for full-time moves, Mike Bliss moves into the 68 truck for
Kulwicki took the 11 team and Penske took Marlin's team.
David Starr moves into the 41 truck for TKO Motorsports. 2 stars of the series will also have new sponsors heading into 2001. The inaugural season champion Jeff Bodine brings in Jelly Belly as his sponsor, replacing QVC,
Jelly beans.
While last year's runner-up Tim Richmond brings in Caterpillar as his new primary sponsor. As for the part-time trucks this season, Bill Davis's operation goes part-time as Kenny Irwin Jr. departs the team. After a few disastrous seasons, he returns to dirt racing for the time being. This truck's races will instead be for a different up-and-coming dirt driver, Ryan Newman. Newman will run a part-time schedule with Bill Davis in both the Super Truck Series and the Busch Series. Tim Woods will drive for HT Motorsports part-time in their 92 truck, where Racing Enterprises has a pair of new drivers in Brian Rose and Donnie Newman.
Oh wow, interesting with Marlin there.
Opens up a part-time 21 truck that he will drive himself. And lastly, for the part-time trucks, Tim Richmond's Hollywood Motorsports will open a second.
What's the likely release date for SNO2? So the Busch Series season is now underway, and then we're going to quickly turn around and do Cup right after. So I can't give a definitive date, but we want to get it out as soon as we can.
In real life. As for who drives this truck, it's a young star who could be just a little rowdy. 16-year-old Kyle Busch. He will drive a variety of races in the second half of the season, where he'll be a young Chevy prospect, competing with his brother Kurt Busch, running full-time at the Dodge Ram team. Tony Roper led the field to the green flag to kick off the 2001 season.
Choose the circle of life.
Super Truck race at Daytona. However, the 1999 champion's quest for a second title got off to a rocky start after he got involved in a wreck early in the going. After a couple of early cautions, the rest of the race ran clean, as we had some interesting names up front, such as Cindy Peterson, Carlos Contreras, Stacy Compton, Scott Bloomquist, Greg Biffle, among others. On the final lap, Peterson used a couple of lap trucks as a pick to get around Greg Biffle and ran off with the win. After going winless in 2000, her 2001 season is off to a promising start, as this marks Peterson's 4th career win, as she earned her other 3 back in 1999.
Where is Brett Bodine at? He is running part-time in the Busch Series for his own team. Essentially his 11 car, but it's in the Busch Series.
Was a calm one, but it gave us quite the story. After starting on pole and leading every lap, at long last, Michael Waltrip in the 16 for DEI finally gets his first career win. Mikey, you got it. Then in the next race,
definitely a long time coming for Michael Waltrip right there.
On pole and led early before caution for Mark Gibson stalling on the track with a camshaft issue. We saw pit stops under yellow, and Richmond lost the lead to the rookie, John Wood. Wood, Roper, and Richmond were the trio to battle up front after multiple wrecks of various causes, starting with a big wreck in turn 1 involving Coy Gibbs and Cindy Peterson,
Aggressive
among
goes
others.
around.
And a late wreck with 2 to go for Brian Rose, ending the race under yellow. But up front, it was a potential young star in the making, as in just his 4th start, John Wood earns his first career win as well.
I was so hyped when you said that line.
First career win.
I had to, right? I felt like I had to.
In the 5th race at Atlanta, it was an exciting one as Cindy Peterson started on the pole and was looking strong early as she led until the first round of green flag pit stops.
Daryl's clothes now used for
After
its
that,
original
She had
purpose.
some
Yep.
competition from the likes of Greg Biffle, Tim Richmond, and others. A caution came out in the later portion of the race as Scott Lagasse just made his green flag stop but runs into the 92 of Tim Woods coming onto the track, and Woods goes for a spin. The leaders then had to deal with all kinds of lap traffic as Tim Richmond worked hard to pull away. But there were still so many lap trucks as Greg Biffle, Michael Waltrip, John Wood, and Ernie Irvin were all there in contention. Then on the final lap, Richmond was trying to hang on the outside when he and Greg Biffle were challenged by the Rusty Wallace teammates of John Wood and Ted Musgrave. And coming back to the checkers, it was John Wood
Yeah, so
stealing the win.
Darryl
for
Waltrip
Richmond
sold his team
by
to
9
Rusty Wallace.
one-thousandths of a second. Back-to-back wins for the rookie, and he gets
Have
help
you
from a
ever?
veteran in Musgrave, who is also his teammate. John Wood is immediately looking like a promising prospect at just 19 years old. Our first
The
dirt
best
race of
lower
season
series
gave us an
lifers.
exciting one, as Dennis Setzer started on the pole in the Petty 43 with Brendan Gong, Kurt Busch, and Ryan
Grant
Holiday
Eckhox had a
all
pretty
starting
solid
up
Busch
front, too.
career.
In a wild start, Kurt Busch took
Also,
the
yeah,
lead
you got
from
one of those
third.
classic,
Cindy Peterson had a great run,
Classic
second,
Atlanta finishes.
followed by a wreck in the back for Ted Musgrave, Mark Gibson, and Rick Crawford, with Rick Crawford ending up on his roof. Kurt Busch managed to pull ahead for a while before lap traffic allowed 2 winners in Cindy Peterson.
Did you ever
and
consider
Jack
removing
Sprague
controversial
to slowly
figures?
make their way to
Like I said with Vickers, Crawford's
Sprague was
just
much
there, and
better
that's it.
traffic
We're
and cut his
not gonna
3-second
make the
lead.
big
That
deal
would
out of
be
it.
in his mirror
So,
at the white.
he's just
but
there.
He never got a run. And Kurt Busch,
You know,
finally
obviously
gets
it's
his
discussing
first
what
career win
what
for the
Mr.
Bobcats
Crawford
last week,
did.
Dodge
Very
truck,
disgusting.
and he does
But
so
again,
not many races before
he's just there.
his more anticipated brother will make his own debut.
Sam Ard, yeah,
Kurt
Sam
Busch
Ard.
stayed hot off last week, starting in third, but didn't have many chances to go for back-to-back wins, as this race completely belonged to Michael Waltrip, who led from the pole from start to finish, earning his second win of the season at Heartland Park.
How about
as
Mikey
he
winning on a
finally
road
comes
course, huh?
alive. At the Bristol Dirt Race, Tim Richmond was on track to have a dominant day until having issues on pit road that put him multiple laps down. After that, it was Tony Roper taking the lead once again. No one could catch Roper through the lap traffic, but when it looked like Roper would drive away with it, here came Scott Lagasse. Lagasse had been struggling all season long, but he came in clutch as he took the lead with 2 laps to go and earns his first win of 2001. Huge win for that 51 team. We head to the Rockies for the next race as Cindy Peterson started on the pole. She had a comfortable lead going until lap 20 when the caution came out for Ted Musgrave and Michael Waltrip getting together as they were running 4th and 5th. Musgrave went hard into the wall and his day was done. Peterson continued to lead after the restart, but she was under fire from Tony Roper and Tim Richmond. Then with nearly 20 laps to go, Tony Roper got around Peterson.
Hey, Tony.
Then Richmond did as well. Peterson would eventually fall to an 8th place finish. After the final round of pit stops, Tim Richmond got out ahead of Roper. Then, right as that happened, Tony Raines got into the 31 of Doug George as he came off pit road to bring out the caution with 7 to go. We had a 1-lap dash to the finish, but Scott Lagasse was not able to get to Richmond, and Tim Richmond would go on to win at Pikes Peak. Stacy Compton holds
Tim
on
is
to the
him.
points lead, but Tony Roper and Tim Richmond are there to pounce, as Roper was back by 36 and Richmond was back by 43. Not to mention Cindy Peterson and Greg Biffle were also still in the mix. The 14th race of the season at Willow Springs had an interesting front row.
What would happen
Ronnie
if Kyle
Holiday,
Busch stayed
a
at
rookie
Roush?
with little road course experience, got
Well, I
the
guess it depends, because he probably wouldn't have to run a race that didn't involve tobacco sponsorships. It would be interesting, because maybe Cart and Kyle end up as teammates, right?
Pit stops started.
Yeah, Busch and
things got
Truckwack,
very
yeah.
interesting. Ribs lost spots on pit road, and Sprague and Richmond were dead even coming off it, and passed each other multiple times on the next lap. All while Barry Bodine jumped to the lead on the short pit. Eventually, Tim Richmond pulled ahead from Sprague and had the better truck than Bodine. Richmond went for the lead coming with 2 to go and made it stick, and Jack Sprague took second. On the final lap, Sprague made up ground and might have been able to pass Richmond with another lap or two, but he couldn't get it done, and Tim Richmond wins at Willow Springs in a thriller.
Tim is him.
Plus, his new protege, 16-year-old Kyle Busch, had an impressive run in just his third start, running 5th in the final cycle and finishing 7th. The 16th race at Irwindale was a fun one, as Eric Norris started on the pole, but quickly got overtaken by Waltrip and Peterson. This race featured fun moments
Obviously,
with
rest in
pro-track
peace, Chuck
racing,
Norris.
and in the end, Cindy Peterson
Since obviously
and
Eric
Willie
was
T. Ribbs
Eric
got
is
around
his son.
Michael Waltrip. Then Ribbs got around Peterson, and Willie T. Ribbs would go on to get the win at Irwindale. The Super Trucks head to the Music City's newest attraction of Nashville Super Speedway, as Jack Sprague started from the pole. But 4 laps in, Greg Biffle would take the lead. Biffle has had a solid season.
And obviously, you may have noticed Nashville Super Speedway has a little more seats than normal than what it does in real life.
A lot from Michael Waltrip and Tony Roper shortly after. Then during green flag pit stops, the caution came out when Stacy Compton broke down from second place, causing Dennis Setzer to run into the back of him. Setzer was done, but Compton was able to keep going. Biffle continued to lead after the restart, and not too long after, Tony Roper took the lead from Biffle. After the second round of pit stops, Scott Lagacy had the lead in front of Tony Roper, and then closing
I'm
in
going
on
to the
15
IndyCar
to
race
go,
at Nashville
Roper
Super
took
Speedway.
the lead back. However, Cindy Peterson came from
Oh,
nowhere.
that's awesome.
She took the lead not too long after.
I went to the
and went on
inaugural
to
Cup
win
race there in
at Nashville.
2021.
We had all kinds of fun, action-packed
Hey,
racing
Floyd
in
fan, how's it
Michigan,
going?
but with 10 to go, the final round of pit stops began. During that process, the caution came out after Scott Bloomquist and Terry Cook got together coming off turn 2, causing Cook to go for a spin and bring out the
Yeah, I
caution.
can't say when
As leader
Richmond.
Austin Cameron got back to the
I
line
can't say
with
when
5
Richmond's
laps remaining.
retiring, but
The race would end up being decided on a 1-lap dash to the finish.
you know, obviously he's in the
Austin
twilight
Cameron,
of his
Scott Lagacy,
racing career.
Randy Tolsma and some other leaders had yet to pit and elected to stay out to try and steal the win. Cameron got a good restart on Lagacy, and down the backstretch, the lap truck of Cindy Peterson got past Lagacy. And coming off turn 4, Cameron began to run out of gas, but on fumes, he made it back to the line first. On fumes, Austin Cameron collects his first career win on a wild finish at Michigan. Kurt Busch,
And of course, somebody hits him right there.
Second win of the season at Vancouver. The next race at Memphis would be an exciting one with an important purpose. On a late September
big congrats
afternoon,
to-
the track would play host to
big
one of the
congrats
best
to,
races of the season,
Sawalich.
with American flags in hand.
Much needed win for
With
him.
that, it's a beautiful September afternoon in front of a packed crowd in Memphis, Tennessee, as this race would go down as one of the most exciting races of the season. Tim Richmond and Cindy Peterson led the field to the green flag to start the race, but it was Richmond pulling away immediately.
What tracks would you like to
Richmond
see on the
quickly showed
IndyCar
that
schedule?
He was not to be beaten today.
Being biased,
Dominated
if it
all
means
race
Kentucky
long until
coming
the
back, that would be
caution came
nice.
out towards the closing laps of the race.
'Cause, you know, obviously that's my home track,
Mike
but
Bliss tangled.
you know,
Richmond and
just
Compton were
different
1-2
variety.
for most of
Some
the
more
game
ovals would be
as
nice.
They led the field back to the green.
I thought Arlington was pretty
Compton
neat.
began to chase
But
down Richmond, and with 6 to go, Compton looked to repeat what he did here a year
I'm glad they go to
ago,
Gateway.
and he took the lead from Richmond. But on the final
I don't
lap, Richmond came fighting back.
Do
and
they-
He was side by
Are they
side
going to
with
Mid-Ohio
Stacey
right now?
Compton.
Because if not, I'd like to see that
Neither
come
of them
back.
wanted to give up a single inch, and they took it all the way to the finish, and Tim Richmond steals it. He wins in a photo finish over Stacey Compton. In
Kentucky's a
what was
Cincy
one of the
native.
most exciting
Hey!
moments of the
Fellow Cincy native.
2001 season, and certainly one that many fans will remember for years to come.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That couldn't have been scripted any better. With that finish in Richmond, I was like, I have to do the infamous flag moment here. I have to do it.
Looking for a good run, admit his somewhat disappointing campaign. He led early. but
Should
on
run the Indy
biggest
Oval in
contenders
reverse.
in Cindy Peterson and Tim Richmond traded spots at the
Excuse
front
me.
off-pit strategy. But as we know, racing is a team sport, and a good pit call can change everything.
What's going to happen in the
Over
2004
years
season in
rarely,
regards to the points
while
season?
Peterson was
It's just
the
one of those
highest
things we'll
among them
cross that
at
bridge when we
fresh
get there.
tires, she could not catch up to Dennis Setzer and Ted Musgrave, two veterans who ended up pitting sooner. Setzer was ahead of them all and managed to use his old tires and stay out in front to take the petty 43.
Oh, yeah, I know Mid-Ohio's
to
still
victory
there.
lane. This
I'd like to
was
get back
Dennis
there. I
Setzer's
think it's going to be on
first
the
year in
IMSA
the
schedule
Cup
next
Series
year
win,
from what I
and
saw.
his first NASCAR national win since 1995.
Let's see.
He ran in the Busch Series.
Yeah, I like
That race
Mid-Ohio.
was at
I like
Louisville.
going the couple times that I went, so...
After Talladega,
I'd like to-
Tim Richmond only
I'd like
had
to get
a
back there at some point.
13-point lead over Stacey Compton and a 78-point lead over Jack Sprague. Peterson and Roper were there, and if things went their way, they could easily be in the hunt for the championship.
You all couldn't be able... So we're getting rid of
Jack
points
Sprague
at
finally
04
earned
and
his
picking the
first win of
champion off
season at Lowe's Motor
vibes.
Speedway. Then at Gateway, it was a dominating performance by one of St. Louis's own, that being Rusty Wallace.
Super
as he
Rusty.
completes the first race of the St. Louis triple header. Going into the
IndyCar
final
finale
race
at
in
Indy
Las
for
Vegas,
160
Stacey
laps under the
Compton led
lights.
standings by just 37
Indianapolis under the
points
lights would be
over
kinda
Tim
cool.
Richmond and 41 points over Cindy Peterson. And here we are at the
Vibes-based champion is
350,
peak.
the site of the 2001 season finale for the Craftsman Super Truck Series season. It all comes down to this. As Greg Biffle and Brendan Gong lead the field to the green flag to kick off the race in the Sin City. Biffle, still in search of his first win, led the opening laps. But on lap 27, Ernie Irvin took the lead from Biffle, who had been on his tail since the start. Right after that was a round of green flag pit stops in what has so far been a clean race. Right after that, Tim Richmond took control.
You inspired
of the
me
race,
to make an AU
led all
car
the
set
way
where
to the
Dale
final round
didn't
of pit
die,
stops
but
with 13 to go.
NASCAR somehow ended up with a next-gen S car. Oh, nice.
Richmond and Irvin
Very
both
nice.
came out together as Richmond needed all the points he could get to stay ahead of Stacey Compton. Richmond led until 11 to go when Ernie Irvin took the lead. Meanwhile, Stacey Compton had just taken 7th place and might just have enough for the championship. Richmond and Irvin, meanwhile, had to deal with the lap truck of Randy McDonald, and while Stacey Compton was passed by his own teammate Scott Bloomquist for 7th, with 4 laps to go, Irvin powered back on
I gotta
the
say,
outside,
Truck
and
Series
with
puts
3
on
to
some
go,
banger championship
Irvin
battles.
cleared Tim Richmond for the lead. As Ernie Irvin would take the checkered flag, Tim Richmond was 2nd, and Stacey Compton was 8th. After the dust settled, the champion was decided
Hey, Bruno
by
Bites, how's it
just
going? You're good, man.
4 points.
Yeah, you can link this
Your
tune out thread if you want.
2001 NASCAR Craftsman Super Truck Series champion is Stacey Compton. What an insane end to the season, and once again, Tim Richmond comes up short. 2 years in a row on what could have been. Stacey Compton, meanwhile, pulls it off in what was an intense battle for the championship as he earned 3 wins, 10 top 5s.
Which Richmond defeat hurts more?
Top 10.
That's a good
With
question.
an average finish of
You know.
9.6.
I think
This
equally
also
both
marks
kind of
Irvin
hurt.
Simo's third Truck Series championship, as Brian Reffner took it home in 1998, and then just last season was Chris Trickle. And now
Yeah, Irvin Simo's
Stacey
got a
Compton
bit of a
joins
dynasty
that
going on in the
elite
Truck Series.
crew. A big congratulations to Stacey Compton and Irvin Simo as we take a look at your winners this season and the final standings from what was an exciting 2001 NASCAR Craftsman Super Truck Series season.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much been here longer than real life. They become a good lower series team.
Second year in a row, heartbreak for Tim Richmond, as Jack Sprague, Cindy Peterson, and Michael Waltrip all had great seasons. Greg Biffle finishing 7th in points despite not getting a win. Kurt Busch also had a solid year, finishing in 8th. One of the most impressive breakout stars.
I know
was
Cindy
John Wood.
Peterson
While he did
attempted
finish
a truck
12th
race in her
points,
career.
He did pick up 3 wins.
I'm
And
trying to
sure
remember what
he's gonna
else
build
she
off that
did.
momentum going into 2002. It seems like
I know we
he only
basically
gets better
used,
from here.
because of
Now we move
Patty
on to
and
the
Shauna's
2001
influence,
IROC series,
you know,
as we saw
some
Ernie
female
Irvan take
drivers,
home the IROC
you
title
know,
last season.
get a chance here.
IROC has been dominated
They get a
by
bigger
4
chance here.
Winston Cup Series
So,
drivers in recent years,
oh, that's
with the
right.
likes of Irvin, Sterling Garner, and Rusty
WomenInRacing.org.
Wallace.
That's
Will
a
we
site
see
we've been
similar
using,
trending
by the
this
way,
year?
to get
Or will
ideas.
someone else step into the spotlight?
Let's see.
Here's a look at this year's lineup
Regional
for
late model
IROC
short tracks.
2001.
Began
SEC
racing in
champions
go-karts
such
in the
as Rusty
Badger
Wallace,
Kart Club in
Joe
82.
Frank
In
Kimball,
84
Blaze
won the
Alexander,
Yamaha
and Mark
Lights
Skye,
title.
as well as icons like Shauna Robinson, Alan
First
Kulwicki,
woman to win a
Kyle
World of
Petty,
Outlaws sanctioned
Rob
late model
LaRosa.
event.
The field is
First
stacked,
woman to have
and it'll be
fast time and
exciting to
feature
see
win
who will
at
come out
Hales
on top.
Corners.
Once again, the schedule remains the same for 2001.
Raced in
with
ASA.
Daytona, Calder Park,
Set
Michigan,
world
and
speed record for one lap
Indianapolis.
qualifying on a 1/4 mile
As
closed
usual,
circuit
we had another
at Slinger
IROC
in
thriller at
94,
Daytona.
11.201
Blaze Alexander
seconds.
was 6th with 3 to go, as Alan Kulwicki was leading at the time. Then V8 champion
So,
Mark
yeah.
Skye went for the lead, and Alexander joined him to work Skye past Kulwicki.
Yeah, Robin Gordon just
Then we hit 2 to
didn't
go,
pan out.
and Blaze Alexander made the move on Mark Skye for the lead going into
I feel like
turns
Peterson
1
is like
and 2.
Nissen in a way
Blaze
where I would have
Alexander cleared him,
lived my
and
whole
he
life
would
not
hold
knowing of
off
her
Mike
existence
Kimball
without your
and
series.
Rusty Wallace to win at Daytona. Definitely a huge and exciting win for this young star as he gets ready to run for Rookie of the Year in the Winston Cup Series. In the second race at Calder Park, Kyle Petty started on the pole.
I don't think we'll have a.
And as they came
I don't think we'll have a
Jill DeFerrin
developmental driver
suddenly
shortage.
had a motor problem and was never able to
I think we'll be
start the
okay.
race. A tough break for the kart champion. Petty led for the first 12 laps, but then after that, it was Rusty Wallace taking the lead. Then by lap 35, here we go again. Rusty Wallace versus Shauna Robinson. Green flag pit stops took place about 5 laps later, and after that, Shauna Robinson took the lead with Rusty Wallace in second. Wallace kept close to Shauna Robinson, but after the last round of stops, Robinson would pull away with the win in the land down under. Halfway through the races this season, Shauna Robinson holds a 4-point lead over Rusty Wallace and a 9-point lead over Blaze Alexander.
What will happen to
Are we
Bubba Nissen's
potentially
team
looking
after he
at
retires?
another Wallace versus Robinson battle
Kind of a
for
big question
championship?
mark right now.
Let's now dive
Something
into the
that,
third race at Michigan,
you know,
as Kyle Petty
We've
led
talked
the
about a
lead
little
to the
bit, but
green
we're
flag.
still
But
unsure
Michigan
since he's like,
rolls. Plenty of
you
passing
know,
and
one of the
competition,
biggest
but towards
unknowns
the
of
end,
like what he
felt
could
like
have
the
done.
one to beat
Since,
was
you know,
Blaze Alexander.
he just ran in the
Alexander led the
80s
field
for a few
during
years, and yeah.
after green flag pit stops. However, the caution came out with 7 laps to go when Shauna Robinson got into Rusty Wallace and they get into Kyle Petty, causing a 3-car incident. Blaze Alexander restarted with the lead, but he was quickly bombarded by Paul Tracy. Tracy took the lead, and he went on to get the win at Michigan. This follows after Paul Tracy won the US 500 last season. And with that, Shauna Robinson holds a slight lead over Alexander, Tracy, and Rusty Wallace heading into the Brickyard. Time to decide an IROC champion. We got 4 drivers in the running for it, as Shauna Robinson and Rob Moroso
Will the 2006
led
Busch
the
Series
fields
be
in
like
green
real life
flag
where
for
everyone is a
40 laps around
bushwhacker?
the Brickyard. Just a few
Again,
laps
we're
later,
still a ways
however,
out from that.
Juan
It just
Pablo Montoya, who
a lot
had
of things
just
can
won
change.
the
It just kind of
500 in
depends what
2000,
happens.
took the lead from Robinson. Unfortunately for Robinson, she would drop back and not be a factor in this race or for the championship. After the first round of pit stops, it was Montoya versus Kyle Petty. Meanwhile, one of the contenders was creeping into the picture. That being who else but Rusty Wallace. With 12 to go, Kyle Petty got around Montoya for the lead and was hoping to drive away with the win. But we still had one more round of pit stops with 7 to go. With 5 to go, Kyle Petty remained the leader, but he was being chased down by Mr. Five-Time, Rusty Wallace.
Let's see. Is Kurt Busch had ever been a possibility?
Then with 3
You never
laps
know,
to go,
right?
Rusty Wallace took the lead from Kyle Petty, and he would drive away with the win at the very track his boss has conquered for so many
If you wanted
years.
to complete all the way to 2004 by the
Paul
end of the year.
Tracy finished
Yeah,
in
pretty
fifth,
much. I mean,
Blaze Alexander was 7th, and Shauna Robinson was 11th. And with that win,
Super Rusty.
Wallace earned enough points to once again be crowned the IROC champion for 2001. This now
Rusty
marks
is inevitable.
Rusty's 4th IROC championship, and this is his 5th title in 6 years. And within those 6 years,
David
they have
Gillen, the
only
2006
won
non-bushwhacker
4
winner.
Winston Cup drivers.
I was at that
NASCAR
race.
driver who also won the IROC title
I remember that race
back in
very well.
1995. While Rusty
I was
won his
in the
4th IROC
JTM
title,
Foods
his Ira Set
luxury
won his
suite.
6th Winston Cup championship. We'll
I remember
see how
everyone
this
was like,
goes
"Who the heck is this guy?"
a little bit, but first,
That was cool to see live.
at the winners and your
Definitely
final
one of my top
standings
racing
from
memories.
IROC 2001. Now let's dive into the 2001 NASCAR Busch
Legend
Series
has
season.
Gillen's engine
Last
he was
season, we
using was
witnessed the
stolen.
breakout of Blaze Alexander as he conquered the series.
I
and
mean,
took home both the
shh.
championship and the inaugural Slick
You were
50
there?
Heritage
Yeah.
Cup. Alexander
Oh, man,
moved to the Winston
Kentucky
Cup,
was my track
so now
growing
it's
up.
time to see who
From
will be the next
05 all the way to
rising star.
19. It was
Taking a look at the
that was
schedule,
I was
we have
always
one new
almost
track
every year
joining the
guaranteed to
circuit.
go to a race
National
there,
Super
and
Speedway becomes
yeah,
part
I
of the
saw
Busch Series in
Carl Edwards
2001
pass
as it
MTJ for the
replaces
win
Myrtle
with
Beach.
3 to go in
Once
05.
again, the Slick
I
50
saw
Heritage Cup returns for
Gillen's
races
shock win in
at historic
06.
tracks.
Frank
Those
Heaney
races
flipping
from
there in
2001 will be
07.
Daytona, Texas World,
I
Watkins
saw
Glen, and
I saw
Talladega.
I saw
One
Scott
note to
Sharp
think
get
about
his
later
last
this season,
IndyCar win in
as a
05
result
there.
of this schedule arrangement, Dover falls
Excuse me.
on the weekend of September
In
15th.
09
The
or
postponed
06 I
race
saw
This leads to Dover being rescheduled for
yeah,
Thanksgiving
06 I saw the
weekend
trucks
instead of New
as
Hampshire,
well.
becoming
Hornaday
the season
won that
finale
race.
for 2001.
I remember Marcos
Worldwide,
Ambrose was on the
New
pole.
Hampshire's postponed weekend only hosted the Winston Cup, scheduled for Black Friday to have multiple days. In the
What am I
event
missing?
was
2009 I saw the
because
ARCA
of the need to host
truck
two races,
doubleheader.
as well as Dover's
I remember
slightly
Parker
different
Kligerman
plan.
spinning somebody
Busch
for the
Series
win.
finale will be held on Black Friday, with the
And then of
Winston
course
Cup
all the
finale
every cup
on
race I went to and
Saturday.
stuff like that. So
The NASCAR Busch Series championship
lot of great memories
was wide
there.
open in 2001, with last year's top 2 in points moving up to the Winston Cup Series. Blaze Alexander earned a historic title for Penske last year.
who is
This
Iron
year,
Man?
the number 2 car will instead
Shine
feature
this
a
cat for
rotation
sure.
of drivers, and we'll touch
What
on
Daytona
who in a
500 have you
bit.
been in attendance for?
4 rookies,
2023,
including 2 lower series
2024,
champions, will
and
fight for the
2025.
Rookie of the Year
Did not
title
go this
in
year.
2001.
Would like to get
The
back
Super
there next year.
Sportsman champion,
We'll
Jimmy
see.
Gibbs, moves up to a second Busch
Especially
car
that's going to be
for
Jimmy's
Sparks.
last
The number
Cup
17
start. I'd like
Sprite
to be there.
PCS Pontiac will sponsor Gibbs, with Casey Atwood remaining in the Hot Rod Magazine 18 car. Ricky Hendrick will drive his father's number 51 full-time in the series this season. You may remember he
Please
had
keep the
incredible
inclusion of
win,
Australia and
just a
SNL.
second start
Being in
last
Australia,
year.
living an hour
This
away,
year,
it's good to have
looks
sort of a
add on
home
to his
race.
win total and gives
Yeah,
Motorsports something to be excited about.
We definitely want to keep
Meanwhile,
the international
last year's
tracks
Craftsman
around, like
Super
Calder
Truck
Park.
champion Chris Trickle also moves up
'cause
to the
I'll
Busch
say
Series
that,
and
you
does
know,
so with a new team.
NASCAR could easily be doing
Racing opens a single car Busch Series
NASCAR could
program for
easily
Trickle,
be
who
doing
stole the championship last season, driving for the
international
NCO
races.
team.
kind of like what the
Interstate
NFL
Batteries
does.
will be the primary
Nothing
sponsor
too
of the
crazy,
team
but
as well.
you know,
We'll touch more on this later, but Interstate
we definitely
want
want to have that presence there.
And joins AK Racing
I was at
triple
Michigan during
sponsor,
juniors last
as
season,
well
got
as
an
a
autograph from
secondary
him.
sponsor,
Was it the
Paramount
June race? Because I was at that
And
race, fun
lastly,
fact.
for the rookies is another with a new team, Marty Houston, the son of 1989 Busch
Where were you when
champion
the
Tom
2011
Houston,
Las Vegas
driving
race
number
happened?
8 for Highline Performance Group.
I think this was the same day. I think this
was
was the same day I went to see Louisville and Cincinnati in college football, because the game was being played at the Bengals Stadium, Paul Brown Stadium, now known as Paycor Stadium.
California's Kevin Harvick. Dodge saw potential in Harvick and signed
Yeah.
the young driver on to join
I think
the
that was on the
32
same
team.
day.
John Andretti
Because I remember I
remains
got
the
home and I
driver
heard the
for
news and I was like,
Dodge will
oh
support
my
two
God,
full-time
what?
teams in
You know, I
2001 with
I
Jared
couldn't believe
Favre's
it.
2 cars, as well as a pair of cars for PPC Racing. The number 10 Nesquik Dodge of Toby Porter,
Queen City
as well as the number
Speedway.
57 Kleenex Dodge for Jason Keller.
Oh, are you talking
Dodge
about
will also run a part-time
Tri-County
car
Speedway?
for both Bill and Casey Elliott.
Oh yeah, that track
under the
was in
Racing banner.
Sharonville.
As for what happens at
Yeah.
Joy Rahal Racing,
I know where that is.
last year,
I know where that
the
was.
team sticks around thanks to their
I saw
success.
on
They
Facebook,
bring in Bobby Labonte from the closed
there's like an
Labonte
old
Motorsports
photos
team.
of Cincinnati
They have a new
page.
sponsor
I'm weird. I like
As
seeing
for
stuff like
other
that.
things to note,
And
Cooper
someone
will
posted
race
some
the number
pictures
37
of
Timberwolves
Tri-County
car
Speedway or
at
Queen City Speedway.
Elton Sawyer will drive the
And
number 48 for Innovative
there was a guy who
Motorsports,
commented
following
named
the
Tim
closure of
Combs,
98 car. Ricky
who said,
Johnson
yep,
will remain in
used
the
to go there
number
all the
48,
time, watch my
whose
father and my
sponsor
uncle
Blake
race.
Clips. And after
And they were like,
Williams
are you
decided
related to
move down
Rodney
the
Combs? He's
Cup
like, yep.
Series, the
So I
Washington
thought,
Urban
oh my
car
God, that's so
was
cool.
by
So
Dave
I love
Blake.
seeing I love seeing stuff like that. That's just cool to hear that.
After a longer period of success,
Scared Harvick by walking behind him.
Samar decides to retire and sell his equipment. As for the most notable part-timers, Bill
NASCAR
Davis
could do a better
Racing's
job
number
promoting
one
their
car
international
returns.
series.
Jeff Gordon making a number of starts, joining
You
him
know,
as fellow
I-
dirt racer Ryan
I
Newman,
feel like
who
with
looks
all
to
the
make a
schedule
splash
changes they've
as he
made in
transitions
recent
to
years,
NASCAR. The
I feel like they
Penske
could have been
car
doing
will
this
feature 4 drivers
15,
in
20 years ago.
2001, as Blaze Alexander will run the most
which is why
races,
we're still doing
including
it
the
now
Heritage Cup
in
races.
SNL, and we'll continue
Matt
to do
Kenseth
that,
will
right?
return to the Busch Series to run some races.
They had ASA racing
And as
until the
previously
mid-'80s.
mentioned,
Yeah, because I think
Wallace
guys like
will
Mark
run
Martin,
a
Alan
one-off at his
Kowicki,
home race at
Kenny
Gateway.
Wallace, yeah,
Now, who's
they all
the
raced
fourth
there.
driver in that rotation? He'll be Penske's go-to for standalone weekends in the Busch Series. A driver who's been
I'm pretty
racing for
sure
Penske
I
in
could
another
drive
series.
out. It's not that far.
Open-wheel
It's really
star
close by. I'm
Greg
sure I could
Moore.
drive out to where
In real life,
where it
Moore
exactly
signed on to
was.
join Penske's kart team in 2000,
General Electric
just
pretty
months
much has some
before
stuff
his
there where the
passing.
track was.
And according to Tony Kanaan, the Canadian is serious about eventually making the transition.
Yeah, we
to
definitely-
NASCAR. Penske's rotation.
There is a
gives
group.
him the
There is
opportunity to
a
run
list of
5
international
races in
tracks that I have
2001,
listed that I'd like to
primarily
utilize
standalone
for
Busch
sure
Series events that
to
come
give
during
NASCAR a
parts
bigger
off
international
weeks.
presence.
Lastly, Team Sapco, Roush Racing,
For
and
sure.
Dale Earnhardt
So-
Incorporated all continue operating their rotations, primarily for Winston Cup drivers. Patty Moyes, Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Tony Stewart will all run the 4 Heritage Cup races, looking to steal the bonus from our regulars. Jeff Gordon and Casey Elliott will run those races as well. Also notable in the rotation, Ron Fellows will run the road courses for Sapco after his Winston Cup upset last season, and Hideo Fukuyama
Greg Moore.
will again
Greg
race
Moore
for
did the Buck
TEI
Baker
at
driving
Motegi
school. I'm 90%
and
sure.
Riverside.
Huh.
We had an RCR front row with Jay Sauter on the pole and Jimmy Johnson starting second as the green flag waves.
The TR Lions of the
2001
ECHL did a NASCAR
World
Canada
Series
Day
season.
with Spire themed jerseys since they operate the team. Yeah, that's right. That's pretty cool.
It was a fun, exciting.
Rodney
and
Combs
relatively
randomly
quick
has a
race
Bathurst
as the race
1000
had
start.
many contenders.
Really?
Jeff Gordon, both PPC
I mean, in
drivers,
Sunday Night Lights, he has a
and
Daytona
Jason
Busch
Keller,
win, but holy
and
crap,
Ron
I gotta look this up.
Stanton Barrett led with 10 laps
Rodney
to go. Did all
Combs,
he could to hold off the pack.
Bathurst.
But with 5 to go, John Andretti took control of the lead, looking to join Mario Andretti as a winner at Daytona, but that was short-lived when Johnny Benson took the lead with 4 to go. Then coming to 2 laps to go, rookie Ricky Hendrick took the lead and had to hold off a charging Randy LaJoie, as well as Jimmy Johnson and Blaze Alexander. In the end, Ricky Hendrick held them all off and he would take home the win at Daytona. Is Ricky Hendrick a superstar?
One of my great-grandfather's friends knows and has talked to Patrick Gallagher, who raced at Road America for JD Motorsports in 2024. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
However, just a little past halfway, Futua's engine lets go as he was leading.
He plays golf at the golf course my great-grandfather's near. Oh, man, that's pretty cool.
His first career win, and that was Chris Trickle.
He's a race car
Just
driver.
around 20 to go, the caution came
His
out
name is
for
Chris
debris,
Trickle.
which gave us a restart as it came down to Chris Trickle and Clifford Allison. Then the caution came out with 10 to go when Casey Atwood drove into Steve Park, sending Park into the wall. With the late restart, Allison
In
was
1981,
all
he
on the back
joined
of
USAC,
Trickle,
USAC
trying to find the
Racing.
time to strike, but he wasn't able to. And last year's truck champion,
Oh my God, that's
Chris
crazy.
Trickle, gets his first Busch win at Pikes Peak.
Interesting.
Tony Stewart
So as a quick
started
reminder, we're in the
Atlanta
Busch Series
with
part.
Shauna Robinson with
We'll
Jake
go all the
Lee
way
on
to the
lap
end of the
four
Busch
and
Series
dominate
section,
all race long.
and then we'll stop, and
She
then
would go on to
we'll
win, but with 4 laps to
we'll
go,
do
Casey
part
Elliott
2
ran
next
into
time.
Kevin Harvick
We'll do,
going into
which is
turn
basically the
3.
Winston Cup
Harvick
part.
goes up the track,
So
hits the wall, and you know what happens next. Hornaday runs
NR
into
being
him,
NR.
Carrier slams into Harvick, giving him some
Everybody
air.
applies their
Clifford
ARCA
Allison,
brakes.
Jason Leveler, Jay Sauter, John Andretti, Jeff Burton were all involved.
I was actually planning to go to the World of Outlaws opener,
The
as
race
one of my
would
older
end
church
under
friends bought
caution,
tickets, but they got
Shauna
sick and we
Robinson
couldn't go.
taking
Oh
home the
man.
win.
I remember
In the
I went
next
to
race
the
in Darlington,
Talladega Spring
Jason
Weekend in
Leveler started
07.
on pole,
I was supposed to go again in
next to him.
2008, but I got
Leveler
sick,
led for the first handful of laps until Dale Earnhardt Jr.
and
took
I
the
ended
lead.
up not being able to go, which
Then,
sucked.
after lap 40, and after the first round of
I could have
pit
seen the
stops,
LePage
Johnny
incident
Benson
happen
took over the
live.
lead.
By the way, I could have seen it
By
happen in
lap
person.
55, Dale Jr. took the lead back from Benson.
It's funny looking back on
Dale
it.
Jr. then went to pit on lap 71, but as that happened, the caution came out after Ricky Hendrick drove into Mike Skinner, sending Skinner into the wall. This shuffled Dale Jr. to mid-pack and wasn't able to catch back up. And per usual, a few cars did hit Skinner.
Will 5-team
such as
operation
Adam
at Roush
Petty
still
and
happen
Bobby
here in this
Labonte.
timeline?
The race
As of right
started
now,
on lap 77
probably
as
not,
Johnny Benson
because
took the lead
Roush
back
just
over.
isn't where
Benson would
was
lead
in real
all the
life,
way until 5
but
laps to go when he had to
still
pit
like a
for
two-car
fuel.
team. They got teams in Busch
And
and
right after
truck
that,
and all
Tony
that.
Porter and Jeff Burton got into each other and went up into Ron Hornaday, bringing
So-
out the race-ending caution for the second race in a row. Hornaday made contact with Leveler as he was trying to get
I
to
found
the
about your
road.
channel through
Leveler
Stunod.
then
While the
slid
history is a
the
little
track,
crazy, I
collecting
love the work
Atwood,
you've done to
Ricky
this.
Johnson,
Thank you.
Lexington,
I really
and
appreciate it.
Jake
Thank
Lee.
you. It's been a lot of fun to put together, and
After the
I'm
dust
honestly
settled,
really excited
it
about
was
the coming
career
seasons.
win
So
number 2 for
Combs
Chris
apparently.
Trickle. 6
Rodney
races
Combs
in,
apparently
and
it was
the
super
defending
common for
Super
dirt
Truck
track
Series
guys to
champion
race Australia
already
over
2
late fall and
wins
winter.
in the
Thus,
Busch
he was
Series.
given a start at Bathurst in 1981.
On the asphalt
Oh,
short
wow.
track of Louisiana.
Wow, that's
it was
crazy.
An off-road front row as Jimmy Johnson started on pole with his former mentor Ricky Johnson beside. Jimmy Johnson led for the first stage of the race, but a caution during pit stop set up his teammate Jay Sauter and the bushwhacking champion Blaze Alexander to fight for the lead. Sauter and Alexander battled all afternoon, and Jeff Burton was ready to make it a 3-car fight. But Jay Sauter took the lead in the final 10 laps and held on for a
And our
win.
2003 crashes
That
can be
did
both
him
realistic
much
and absolutely
boost.
bonkers. Great examples of this can be seen
In
in
the
tow
10th
car.
race of the season at
Yeah,
Nazareth,
yeah.
Jimmy Johnson scored the pole with
They're
Adam
just ARCA
Petty
brakes
starting
crashes
second,
in
as
disguise.
Johnson looked to be the favorite to win. He led until
Oh, well.
pre-flight pit stops around the halfway
You do the best
point,
you can.
but Jimmy Johnson was shifted back to 4th. Adam Petty was 3rd.
I'm
Kevin
still
Harvick
thankful
was
for this
2nd,
game just because of
and
what it's
in the
able to
lead
do.
was
Right?
Jeff Burton
This
of
game's
Base
23 years
Motorsports.
old, and a lot of people still
Harvick
use
tried
it.
everything
That's pretty
he could
awesome.
to run him down, but it was Jeff Burton picking up his first Busch Series win since 1994
Tow car mentioned.
and the first win.
I have seen
for Base
some tow
Motorsports.
car before. Yeah.
Also to note, Greg Moore, driving for Penske, finished 9th in his debut. We now take a first look at the Busch Series standings for 2001.
Tow Car
and
Resurrection
Jimmy
Day is
Johnson
tomorrow, by the way.
winning the game of consistency
Okay.
so far, despite not getting a win yet. He holds a
Jamai.
194-point lead over Chris Trickle. The second ever Busch Series race in Japan was a crazy one, as Jeff Gordon led the field in the early going, but was then challenged
NASCAR
by
Racing
points
2004
leader Jimmy
happened in this
Johnson.
timeline.
They swapped the lead.
Not sure. Of course, NR 2003 still happens for sure.
The leaders began to
You know.
pit. Jerry Nadeau was an early front runner, but unfortunately, he and Johnson were hit with speeding penalties on pit road. The lead then went to Gordon, who had Toby Porter and a lapped Chris Trickle on his tail. Then Trickle worked his way past Gordon.
Let's see. I've been getting into
and
NASCAR
Porter
chassis
made the going.
history. Did you know that the
With
car
4
Bobby
laps to
Gearhart
go,
drove to victory
Jeff
lane
Gordon
in
had
the ARCA
to pit,
Daytona race was
then the next
actually
time around,
HMS
Porter
Chassis
had to pit as
001?
well.
Oh,
The
really?
leaders could not
I'm
make it on
always
board at
fascinated
all,
by
and turned
the
into
history of
quite
some
the
chassis,
question
like
as to
some
who
chassis
was
that's
going to
that
win.
they've been
However,
used since
as
like
the leader,
2002 and are
Jason
still being
Weber
used
went to
today.
pit, Mike
I'm always
Wallace
amazed by that.
crashed into
That's
the pit road wall
honestly
to
incredible.
bring up the caution with 2 laps to go. The leader, once the field was frozen, was Toby Porter. Toby Porter would bring home the checkered flag and earn his first Busch Series win, and where else but an international race. This also
How about
marks
that
the
for your first
Busch
win?
Series win for Dodge
In
and
Japan?
ABC Racing.
It's pretty cool.
A few races later at the Milwaukee Mile, Adam Petty started on the pole, but the one that looked fast in the first half was Jimmy Johnson. Johnson quickly found his way to the lead and stayed there until the first set of pit stops on lap 44. Johnson, however, got jumped by the number 9 of Johnny Benson, as Johnson had to settle for second. It stayed this way until under 30 to go, when we had our final set of green flag pit stops. As those were wrapping up, Kerry Earnhardt crashed into the pit road wall, bringing out the caution. Johnny Benson continued to lead after the restart, as Greg Moore had worked his way up to third. But then a wreck started by Buckshot Jones, Mike Wallace, and Dave Blaney that led to a pileup in turn 3 caused another yellow.
Would a New York street race be considered? Yeah, if there's a track for it. I mean, you never know.
With 13 to go, Jimmy Johnson finally caught up to Johnny Benson, and he took the lead. When it looked like he was
It was
finally
in
going to
NASCAR
get a
Racing
win this
2004.
season,
It was in development, but NASCAR
Johnny
near the end
Benson
decided to
came
give the full game
charging
race. Yeah.
back. He had the opportunity
Let me
with 4 laps to go.
Oh yeah,
couldn't
apparently I saw that
complete it.
LeBron's
Then he
also
tried again.
talking bad
They
about
were
Milwaukee
side by
and
side,
Cleveland,
coming
so I'm
to
just
the
like,
right
oh
flag,
cool.
and coming back around,
Turning on
it was
the place he
Johnny
grew up
Benson
in.
picking up
Amazing.
his first
What a
win
world.
since Mid-Ohio in 1997. Jimmy
Yeah, the
Johnson
pit wall
once
crashes are
again
weird, and
comes
I hate it
so
when those
close.
happen because it's like,
This
how do
next
I
race may
how do
be
I
the
make the
East Coast
excuse
of
as to
this
why
race
this
at
happened, right?
California Fever.
So I'm just kind of like,
Kevin Harvick started on
ugh,
the
man,
pole as he looked to break his winless drought at his new team.
pain.
Looking to do it on a road course again, no less. While he ran up front early, he was outdone by the bushwhacker Jeff Gordon, who pulled ahead
name is Jeff.
and dominated late. Harvick, however, got a great momentum boost for the second place, and Jimmy Johnson slowly climbed to third to make it an all-California podium. After 15 races, Jimmy Johnson holds a 153-point lead over John Andretti. Johnny Benson worked his way to third, as he's 282
Oh, Brad Smith.
points back.
I appreciate,
The
especially
second ever Busch
as someone
Series
who's been
race at
around the
SoCal
ARCA garage
saw who
at
else but
races,
SoCal drivers leading
whether
the
it
way.
was Kentucky or
Jimmy
Indy,
Johnson started on the
IRP of
pole
course,
with
or
a hot
Daytona.
Harvick beside
I have a
him
lot
in
of
second.
appreciation for how hard those guys
And the
work.
two put on
Even
a
guys like
solid
Brad
show
Smith.
for
I
the
know those
crowd,
guys don't
as
have the
them
stuff
and
like
Shawna Robinson
Nitro
made
does
three
and stuff
fights
like
for the lead
that,
multiple
but
times. Johnson had the car.
I
with better
still
pit stops to pull
respect
ahead.
the hell out of those
After
guys.
stops, he was instead
Especially a guy like
challenged
Brad Smith.
by
He's been
Ron
doing this
Hornaday Jr.,
forever,
another
you know?
California driver.
And
Jimmy
I
had
just,
to
I
deal with wet
appreciate,
traffic
say what you want
late
about ARCA,
and
but I
gave
just,
Hornaday
I
as well as
appreciate that
Jimmy
series and what it
Gilliland
does.
Kerry Earnhardt
You
a
know,
chance to
it's
steal.
grassroots racing,
Johnson
but on a
worked his
national
way to
level.
the outside line
And
broke
grassroots
the
drivers
lap
getting to
traffic
race on the
buffer.
same tracks that the
Jimmy
Cup guys
Johnson
get to race on.
finally gets his first win of the season, and while he started on pole, it was never easy. But in the end, Johnson gets the job done at one of his home tracks.
Jamai. I'm Jimmy Johnson. Boom!
At New
Confetti.
Hampshire, Jerry Nadeau dominated from the pole for most of the race. That was until 30 laps to go, when Kelly Earnhardt took the lead from Nadeau. Then, with 22 laps to go, the caution came out when Jeff Burton got into Jason Keller, nearly taking his teammate Toby Porter with him, as Keller spun
What mod
into
would you
the wall.
consider?
After pit stops,
It's just one of those things that, you know, we're still
Earnhardt in second.
down the road from and considering, and it's stuff we've talked about, but nothing's been set in stone yet.
With 13 laps to go,
Norm Benning, 73 and still racing. Yeah.
took the lead.
I mean, James Hilton, I think, raced until he was 78, so... And Herschel McGriff made a start at 92, so... That's awesome, you know? Like, I love... It's just so cool seeing stuff like that. Excuse me. Is there going to be huge controversy about Rockwell and NASCAR? Oh, I don't know. I mean, we're still a while from that.
The inaugural race at this 1.33-mile track began with a thrilling battle that spilled over from last week. The two California kids, Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick. They were the two best cars early in battle.
Herschel has an offer to race when he turns 100. I think I did hear about that. I hope that happens. We would get the first, you know, centennial racer, right?
Who had just pitted, as well as a few others.
Yeah, he just turned 98, yeah. I hope that happens. That would be so cool. Just to, you know, something that we've never seen before, right? I heard Red Farmer's still racing at 93. God, that's awesome, man. That is so awesome.
Long-run car and managed traffic better than the rest. Toby Porter and PPC Racing get their second win of the season and the second of Porter's career.
Well, Patty Moyes won the 1989 Michigan race, and that's kind of where it started. So it just caused this massive chain reaction that led to Shauna Robinson getting a bigger chance, that led to a better climate, allowing drivers like Kelly Earnhardt to pursue a bigger NASCAR career and stuff like that. So that's basically what happened there. So the four-time Cup winner driving at 100 would be amazing. Absolutely.
Up front, however, it was all number 40, as Adam Petty finally gets his first win in over a year, bringing back the Yahoo Pontiac to victory lane.
Yahoo!
At Watkins Glen, the top two in points were the best in this one, with Jimmy Johnson looking to rebound from pole position, but fighting John Andretti and Tony Stewart, both of whom are strong here. Johnson led the vast majority of the race,
you know, Sean has had a lot of help from, you know, being able to be teammates with Patty and Kyle Petty and having Felix Sabates as her boss and stuff like that. And she's turned into quite the megastar.
Pulled away in the closing laps.
Del McCowart, never won a race but never lost a party. Yeah.
Needs it to catch Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, I do love that story. I do love hearing about Del McCowart.
Names like Kerry Earnhardt, Kevin Harvick, and Jason Keller up in the mix. However, with 12 laps to go, we had what would eventually be our upset special taking the lead from Jay Sauter. That man being Mike Wallace.
Of where things went in real life, like with Dale Jr., where it could have gone well for Kelly Earnhardt given the stories of real life stuff. Yeah. Because I think it was like a 2012 article. Jr. said that if the climate was different and things went a little differently, Kelly probably would have pursued more of a NASCAR career.
Race at Richmond saw Ron Hornaday on the pole.
I hope Herschel becomes the first person to race past his 100th birthday, and then Red becomes the second 5 years later. Yeah, I would love to see that too. I would love to see that. That would be awesome.
But he continued as the Blaney and Andretti battle went on. That was until a final round of stops with 15 to go when things got bonkers. Bobby Labonte took a short pit.
The whole Patty, I guess it's Moise. I guess I've been saying, and maybe it's because of my accent. I'll have to look into that more. You know, then again, I've had instances where I used to say like Mark Simo before I realized it was Mark Simo and stuff like that. So, did you see Bobby Earnhardt Arca Daytona? Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
Followed by Hornaday, Andretti, and Labonte.
I'm a big Dale Jr. fan, so all the ideas of all histories with NR has me curious about who gets the picks and successes and all the ideas behind. Yeah, I mean, that's what's fun about this timeline is just anybody has a chance to be great, you know. Think about Bubba Nissen, right? You know,
for the first time since the 1996
Moby's nuts.
Bobby Labonte goes to victory lane.
Yeah.
The 24th race at Darlington featured.
But yeah, it's just fun looking at. That's why Racing Infinity and SNL is so much fun. Just getting to see how things could have played out differently if things had been different, right?
But Jimmy Johnson and bushwhacking Shauna Robinson ran him down and led until
guys like Kowicki and Richmond and Earnhardt and guys like them are going to be able to play out their careers without any worry, without any concern.
Return to the front off-pitch strategy.
Petty Moose.
Porter had a great jump and went to the lead with the help of Ricky Hendrick and Jason Leveler, who tried desperately to get by for his first win.
How's Elton Sawyer?
He would run out of time.
He's still doing Busch Series stuff on a part-time level, but he's still racing. So he still gets an opportunity every now and then to race with his wife.
This one, with Ron Hornaday on pole and Jimmy Johnson and Jay Sauter running up front.
Could you imagine the party that would happen if Del McCord won a race? Oh man. Brock Beer's saga on Kenny Irwin changed my perception of him as a driver, given the time he raced as an example. Yeah.
We had major championship implications.
Certainly a major what if as well.
And Kevin Harvick took out Ricky Hendrick and Jimmy Johnson.
Any chance a throwback weekend becomes a thing? I'm sure at some point we'll look into it. I don't know when, but something we can look into down the road. Which, at that point could be fun to revisit all those schemes that we've made and stuff like that.
Green flag at Memphis alongside Jimmy Johnson. However, Johnson began to get shuffled back while Benson...
Again, I don't know what it was, but Memphis put on some banger races in 2001. I mean, it really did.
Keller and J.D. Gibbs got together on the track. Then on lap 34, we had a similar-looking incident, this time being Marty Houston and the 34.
Oh, yeah, Brian Dowsett, yeah, FDNY Racing.
25 laps to go, Johnny Benson was then challenged by Kevin Harvick, and he would lose the lead. Harvick would lead the rest of the way as the caution came out.
Who are going to be who are going to be the new to the universe drivers in 2002? You will find that out.
Elliott Sadler and Brian Refner in the process.
What do you think about Cletus and the RCR 33? Yeah, maybe they're rushing him a little too fast. I think I heard he spun, but finished towards the back. I mean, he finished the race.
Leading at different points.
Was the team to beat early, I want to see him succeed and do well. So it looks like he did pretty good in his ARCA East race too. So good. I'm definitely definitely pulling for him. I like to see what he does.
Jeff Gordon reclaimed the lead and held off John Andretti, the new most consistent driver.
What is Jack Sprague's path?
To take home the win.
Still in trucks right now.
As we take a look at the standings after the race at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Johnson has slipped enough to hand the points lead to John Andretti. But now the question is, in the last handful of races, can Jimmy Johnson fight back? As for the next race, it's time to open a brand new track. The inaugural Busch Series race at Kansas Speedway saw domination from Team Savco, with Shauna Robinson on pole as a bushwhacker.
I could make the funny comment and be like, you're not in Kansas anymore.
And not looking back for a while. Petty looked like he'd run away.
I found out last year Paul Menard won a Trans Am race at Watkins Glen. Yeah, Paul Menard's been tearing it up in the Trans Am circuit in recent years. How about that, huh? It's pretty cool. It's because Austin Hill ran into him. Gotcha. I confess, I followed along, but I was napping because I was very, very exhausted from the 4 a.m. shifts I've had all week. So
as Adam Petty steals second on the final lap for a
I
second
don't think we'll
31-2.
do Arca,
Jimmy
but I mean,
Johnson came home
Arca's
with
still
fourth.
there, you know,
John
and
Andretti
it
in
will be
fifth.
mentioned in lore and stuff
Then
like
we
that
hop
if
on
needed.
I-70 and drive across the state of Missouri for the next race. As Jerry
I listened to an
started out
MRN
this
Radio
one.
Classics of the
Rusty
first
Wallace
Kansas
started
truck
third
race. What
as
a
he
wild
looks
race.
for a gate
Oh, that's
speed
cool.
in this one off.
Like I said, I mentioned this earlier. Have you guys seen those? Have you guys seen those?
With the leader, John Andretti,
Eric Jones with a C, different from Eric Jones.
continuing.
Yeah, I had to put that in there. Did you guys see the HD 2001 HD videos? The one at Texas and that they just did one at Rockingham.
Rusty took the lead
Man.
and held on to it for a while.
Man, those look so
Caution with
cool.
9 laps to
I
go
can't. We've
on
never
the
gotten
field.
races from that
Rusty
time in
had to
such
battle
like
Stanton Barrett, who
clear
got to the
quality.
side
I
at the
mean,
white thanks to a lap
and I
car.
can't help but also
Rusty
think we were
was
so
in
close
fourth
to seeing
place,
Dale in
but
those
he
too.
couldn't get the run.
Man,
Rusty Wallace holds on to win the Busch Series race at Gateway, and he will sweep the lower series. But can he finish the deal in the Winston Cup in
Yeah.
good time?
I hope to see more of those HD videos. It's just, it was kind of crazy seeing Tony Stewart holding a 4-year-old Chase Elliott. Just like, that kid ends up becoming the Cup champion 19 years later. How crazy is that? You know? So that's cool. I love that.
Petty led early.
So we're getting towards the end here. Perfect action wallpapers. Oh yeah.
Lead off to Patty Moyes later. Moyes ran away with it while Andretti and
I mean, yeah, it feels like, you know, it's from 2001, but it feels like it was yesterday from the way it looked. So I was just like, especially like just how different things were, the world was back then, stuff like that.
Jimmy Johnson had an off day and finished in 15th, shrinking his title lead to just 23 points over John Andretti.
HD Tech was very new at the time.
John Andretti qualified.
Yeah, and it's possible, you know, maybe they found a way, maybe like they found a way to enhance the quality too, you know, with newer technology. Excuse me.
With teammates Shauna Robinson and Tim Feudua. But where
Spencer's elusive Watkins Glen 42.
Where the whole field
I did not see that.
Go. Johnson and Andretti pitted on the same lap.
Yep, they uploaded a Rockingham one. It's the November race. I didn't realize this. The race was the Pop Secret 400, and they actually showered the winner in victory lane in popcorn. I love goofy things like that.
Bill Elliott, in his own bushwhacking car, gets his first overall win.
Oh yeah, this was cool.
1996. And his first Busch win since all the way back in 1983, the second ever season for the Busch Series. What a memorable moment.
They did probably have some for the. Somebody tweeted that yeah, there probably is HD footage of the 500 that year, but we most likely will never see it because of what happened, right?
Into the finale. And
but yeah, with Bill Elliott. That was
the unexpected host to the final.
That was cool to see him win that.
Season.
If they have the July 2001 Daytona race, man, oh man. Oh god, yeah, I'm sure that will come out at some point.
Family legacy as well. Who is going to come out on top? Jerry Nadeau led the field to the green flag, but just all right,
so we're just about done here.
Had a caution for Randy LaJoie going for a spin. After that,
when they poured slime on Jimmy that one year. Oh, yeah.
While Kevin Harvick worked his
I remember in 2017, I went to the Chicagoland race because it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 400. Truex won that race, and I think he got slimed too.
And then Jerry Nadeau had nowhere to go and
the SpongeBob SquarePants 400.
Also got a piece of the wreck, and this took the leader out of the running. Johnny Benson led the field back.
I have a friend who works as a producer for NASCAR. He said the first thing he did when he got hired was to watch the Nazareth truck race. That was lost media.
Andretti was running
oh, wow.
10 all race long, while Jimmy Johnson was close to.
Of course, I know another one is that Elliott Sadler Michigan crash from 2000, I think.
Ran into Dave Blaney, sending them both.
I remember.
Jeff Burton and a few others got a piece of the wreck.
No, it was the Cup race I had to redo.
Harvick
That's
went
right.
on to lead the rest
it's the
of
Cup race I had to redo.
Take home his second win of the season.
Because the ending
Jimmy
just got
Johnson
so bad.
Worked his way to third, and John Andretti finished fifth. In the final 30 laps, Johnson went from as low as 14th to work his way all the way to 3rd. With that huge surge, it came in clutch, as that would hand the 2001 NASCAR Busch Series Championship to El Cajon, California's Jimmy Johnson. Johnson had
I'm Jimmy Johnson.
incredibly
Boom.
strong, consistent
Confetti.
season, and despite a few bumps in the road during the second half, Johnson was able to come out on top as he and John Andretti put on a remarkable fight for the championship this season. Jimmy Johnson has been a big name that's risen through the ranks in racing.
Still need to work on those
I'm
burnouts.
sure he'll be in the Winston
Sometimes
Cup
I end up
Series
hitting the wall. I
very
don't
soon.
like doing that.
Let's now take a look at all the winners as well as the final standings and the Slick 50 Heritage Cup for the 2001 NASCAR Busch Series season. Stars were made and winless droughts were snapped, as Toby Porter and Jay Sauter both tied with the most wins at 3, but consistency was the name of the game, as Jimmy Johnson and John Andretti were easily the class of the field. Jay Sauter with 3 wins finished 11th in points, while Toby Porter finished 16th. But I'm sure both drivers are looking forward to a big year in 2002. While Jimmy Johnson took home the championship, one of his close friends ended up taking home the Heritage Cup Championship. And for the second year in a row, that championship went to Blaze Alexander. Alexander does it again. And now...
Alright, so, as I said before, we will stop there, and we'll do part 2 next time. I'll continue talking for a few more minutes, for a little bit here. I think LA Productions went to both Chicagoland races. Yeah, I went to the 2017 race. Yeah. Yeah, the graphic for the champions also used for the crown jewel. Yeah. Let's see. Did Rusty sweep? So Rusty won the truck and Busch race at Gateway, but Paige Jones won the Cup race for 2001. Have a good night, Bruno. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Let's see. What are the craziest things to happen while simulating races? Oh, I mean, just from wrecks to crazy finishes, and I can tell you this right now, we've had some crazy finishes for 2002. So I can't wait to show you guys that. There's one in particular that I think is very mind blowing. I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's I think y'all gonna like it. Trying to think. Wondering if NASCAR has footage of that 2001 Texas Busch race that was never broadcasted. Texas had some rough goings in 2001. That and the kart race that got canceled. I'm going to stand up and stretch for a moment. Oh, that felt nice. I only remember watching races in concrete memory from 2003 plus. Yeah, I began watching NASCAR in 2004. So, all because I rented Thunder 03 from Blockbuster. That's where it all started. There was the time my power went out during the one Busch IRP race. Is Konikopolis still the most surprising winner in the history of this channel? Oh God, yeah. Honestly, yeah, it's definitely up there, 100%. Yeah, I would love to see more of those HD races because it's just kind of cool to see. I also love that at one point during pre-race of the Rockingham one, you can hear "There Goes My Hero" by Foo Fighters in the background, and I was like, man, that kind of goes hard. The Texas kart race that got canceled was on the same weekend as the kart movie Driven. Oh, that's right. Yikes. Oh, man. Big yikes. But, yeah, feel free if you guys have any more, if you have any last second questions, comments, concerns, anything like that. So again, I'll go ahead and kind of go over again what I talked about before we got started. So the from the life standpoint of things, work's been a little hectic for me. I just came off a 6-day work week where I had to come in at 4 a.m. every day, but so my my sleeping schedule's been a little out of whack. But I'm in my weekend now, woo, and I can kind of relax and get to work on things. So, Denny Hamlin's favorite racing movies is all you need to know about him. Oh my God, that's right. I remember when he said that, I was like, what? Driven? Are you serious, man? Yeah, remember the Chicago Motor Speedway was in that movie? The wannabe Rocky on wheels. Oh gosh. Anyway, so yeah, life's been a little there's been a lot of changes happening at my workplace. I still have a job, so things have just been a little hectic. But we got the rating stuff figured out, and the Busch Series is underway. As a matter of fact, Jet's running a race right now, or running another race actually. He's obviously been a huge help. So, yeah. So a lot of great things to look forward to for 2002. 2002, I was 5 years old then. Man. Brock Beard's video on Driven tells you everything you need to know about it. Yeah. Racing movie made by people who knew nothing about racing. Yeah. That's the thing. Hollywood's Hollywood, but it's like, you got to be able to bring in people who can help out and know racing, right? Rigged. But, yeah, 2002, we're getting the races going. Like I said, Stock GT, Super Sportsman, Truck, IROC are all done. Busch Series is in full swing, and before long we'll get Cup Series going, and before long we'll get the video going. So that is the game plan. So the racing gods to Creed Cart would die for making that movie. Do you think 2002 will be as long as the 2001 was? I don't want to make the video longer than 3 hours, but I want to make sure there's enough to tell the story of all the racing series, so I'm going to definitely try my best to not make it any longer. 3 hours, that's basically like almost 2 feature-length films, essentially, right? To kind of put in perspective. You were 5 in 02? Yeah, me too. I think I started kindergarten that year. 2002. When nu metal reigned supreme, right? But, I think Driven's director originally wanted to do an F1 movie. We got one now! Anyway. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's fun when you make it long. Yeah, I just, I don't want to make it too long, but obviously if it's 3 hours again, it's 3 hours again, right? I want to make sure that I can tell the whole story and for all you guys to enjoy. And, at this point, SNL is a movie franchise. Yeah, the Sunday Night Lights cinematic universe. Maybe I should call it the Gray Speed cinematic universe, right? F1 wanted nothing to do with Driven, so it pivoted to kart. Would you cut series to make the videos come out faster? Nah, I wanna cover it all. I want to cover all six racing series for sure. So, length of 2 feature-length films worth every second. Well, I'm glad you guys love it. That makes me happy, and I love watching your all's reactions too. Because I do the races and I sit there and go, oh man, they're gonna love this. Oh man, they're gonna go crazy when we do this, that kind of thing. So I always think about that in the back of my head because I like seeing people, react and feel emotion because kind of like a movie, right? So, ironically, speaking of movies, I saw the Mario movie last night. What's the most realistic racing movie? Most realistic racing movie. I feel like Days of Thunder probably could be considered. Obviously, it's Hollywood, so there was like a scene that I think it was from one of the Fast and Furious movies, one of the later ones, more recent ones, and there was like a scene they did. It was like a bunch of late models racing at Irwindale, but it was supposed to take place in like 1988. And I remember I paused it before this big crash happened, and I went, okay, he blew a tire. One of two things is going to happen. He's going to hit the wall, the driver's going to be mad, he's out of the race. Or somehow this car is going to flip into the air and blow up in a spectacular explosion. It was the latter. I was like, yep, saw that coming. And I know there's that Final Destination 4 opening. I don't like that at all. I'm not a fan of that stuff, but also, like, oh my god, it made... Anyway, I'm getting off topic. When you consider we're making 3-hour movies, the months between big videos make more sense. Albeit the gap was different because of real-life factors. None of them because they all need wild crap that wouldn't happen. It's fun to tell a story, even if it takes longer than an hour or so. Sure, yeah, 100%. 100%. I love telling... It's fun to tell stories, right? I could easily sit here and say, hey, this guy won this race, but, what Talladega Nights got wrong was that you don't shift so many times at Talladega. Fair. So, Fast and Furious and realistic are not in the same sentence. The most realistic racing movie is Cars 3 because it acknowledges people get old. That's true. That's actually true. So... Oh, man. Yeah. So, what is the most unrealistic racing movie? I guess Driven. Driven would probably be one of them for sure. It's kind of like this isn't racing, but do you guys remember Any Given Sunday, the Al Pacino football movie? I did not like the scene where they were playing the Dallas team and had like this Illuminati feel to it, and like a player lost an eye, and I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, Turbo. Okay, fair. Driven doesn't even try. Talladega Nights. I would love to see a NASCAR movie made again. Whether it's a Days of Thunder 2 or just something that is a really good racing movie. I really loved Ford versus Ferrari. I've seen bits and pieces of the F1 movie. I haven't seen the full one. As Brockbeard once said, in Driven, there's no greater prize in motorsports than the Kart World Championship. Oh, yes. The early 2000s brought the demise of kart and WCW. Anyway, we had The Crew on Netflix. Okay, yes, I did watch The Crew when it came out. Because it was just, it's a NASCAR series, I should check it out. Yeah, it was pretty much what I about expected, It is what it is. Oh, yeah, the 24 Hours of Fonteo. I remember because me and my friends Michael and John went to see a movie, and John pointed out, it's like, that's Auto Club. And I was like, yeah. I laughed at that because it was like, I get it why they use Auto Club because, it probably gives off a more 60s Daytona in a sense compared to, like, what Daytona looks like now. But it was just funny to me that they did that. Turbo, IndyCar's version of Cars, maybe. As I said before, Chicago Motor Speedway, most well known for being in the movie Driven. For the short time that track had, it was in that movie. Of course, in Sunday Night Lights, it's gonna stick around. So. Talladega Nights predicted Carl Edwards running to the line in 2009. Yeah, I remember that because I was like, "Hey, he's doing the Ricky Bobby thing," F1 can use Daytona and Ford versus Ferrari can't. I think the thing is, like, F1 takes place, the setting takes place today compared to Ford versus Ferrari. It took place in the mid-'60s. Because I remember early on in the movie, there's like the meeting with Mr. Ford. And the guy was like, we need to get young people interested in the Ford. We need to go racing. He's like, we got NASCAR. Yes, but that's more of a regional thing. I'm talking international. And I was like, oh yeah, because this was the 60s. So it's just funny kind of thinking about that, like, oh my God, I once had an idea for an IndyCar movie, a bit hard to explain in the comment section. Gotcha. Have you ever seen Trading Paint? It's got John Travolta in it. Trading Paint. Let me see here. I think I heard about this movie. Yeah, I think I heard about this movie. Oh, hi, Logan. But yeah, go for a few more minutes here. If you guys have any more questions or anything like that, I'll wrap it up. I appreciate you guys joining in, and this was a good time to get a refresher of 2001. And don't watch Trading Paint; it sucks. I think Talladega Nights takes place in 2005. I mean, it makes sense because it's pretty much just the 2005 Nextel Cup. Hello from across the hall. Yeah. Yeah, Logan. That's my roommate. But I always thought the first Cars movie took place in 2005 as well, because in the Cars video game, which takes place after the first movie, at the end of the story, the trophy says Lightning McQueen 2006 champion. So, yeah. In one part they say checkered fight, that means one more lap to go. Bruh. Talladega Nights was filmed at the 2005 fall race. John Girard got booed without them even needing to ask the crowd. Oh, man. I mean, the Hell Yeah campaign is better, but I feel like for most Americans, still the stereotypes. That's been the biggest concern, even today with NASCAR, is you gotta be careful not to enforce those stereotypes, because, it's kind of how the general public kind of sees NASCAR. And, NASCAR is a sport that should be enjoyed by everybody, right? Everybody should enjoy NASCAR. You don't need to be from the Carolinas. You don't need to be like it's kind of like that South Park episode, right? My thought process on that was, it wasn't necessarily making fun of NASCAR itself. It was making fun of how people see NASCAR, and how, because Cartman was going on about how, it's like, I can't watch NASCAR because I'm not stupid and poor, that kind of thing. So, there's been some Hallmark budget movies that nobody knows about, and the acting is so poor that the racing aspect is even worse. Oh, I'm sure. I wonder if Cars 2 takes place in 2011 or at the end of 2010. I could see how it takes place at the end of 2010, because Let's see. If he won his first title in 06, 07, 08. So, yeah, he would have won his fourth title. So I could see why it took place at the end of 2010. Yeah, it's just, improving the culture. I think it's good to get new eyes to the sport and get people interested, Old South Park. Yeah, they've never done a IndyCar one. Obviously, it would have to center around the Indy 500, most likely. I saw the South Park NASCAR episode 3 months ago, and it was one of the most surreal thing I've seen in following the sport for 27 years. Yeah, it's I remember looking back on that episode as I'm 29 now. Yeah, I know I've reached unk status, but the Cleveland Brown NASCAR episode, the night it premiered, Casey King won at Bristol. Yeah, that's right. Because I remember, I think Casey and Dale Jr. both, I think, showed up in that episode, if I remember correctly. It's always cool to see NASCAR cameos and appearances and stuff like that. So at my job, I bring in shows, for the television station. I tag them, just check to make sure they're good, nothing's wrong with them, and then I bring him. Raise his hand in unk age. And I actually did watch the show Last Man Standing. That's one of the shows we air. And it was an earlier episode. It was from 2011. Tony Stewart appeared in that episode. Because Outdoor Man was on Tony's car, and it was like a super small sticker, but yeah. Shut up, Kyle. Brad Keselowski. Shut up, Kyle. Yeah. Oh man, never forget. Speaking of South Park, because basketball, never forget when Dale Earnhardt appeared in basketball. Excuse me, sir, can you go any faster? Can I go fast? Hang on. I'm like, yeah, Dale. The 3 on the fucking taxi. Oh, pardon my French. I apologize. All right. Anyway. Imagine Brock Beard and Slapshoes making videos in the SNL timeline. Oh, man. I can imagine they'll be making videos about, like, Bumminison and stuff like that. Casey King, Tony Stewart, and Dale Jr. Oh, okay. Dale Earnhardt was in an episode. Yep. He was in an episode of King of the Hill. Yeah. Check it out, that's Dale Earnhardt. He said something like, these rubs do sure feel nice. Like, oh my god, it's Dale. Yeah, Dale Earnhardt and King of the Hill, yeah. Oh, man. Foxman, Steel Chariots. You just lost your 5 cents of ad revenue. Yep. Ad revenue that I don't even make. Heck, now you're mentioning, like, how content creators would make their videos in the SNL timeline. Now I'm like, how would I be making my videos in the SNL timeline? Right? Would I just be doing SNL, but, like, just simply rewriting history, and that's that kind of thing? Like, oh, man. Mind blown. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh man, these are fun conversations. I love these conversations. Joey Logano, Lab Rats, yeah. There was an episode. Oh God, what was it? Because I remember tagging it at work a while back. I think it was. Let me look this up. Hold on. It was something Hawaii. Oh, yeah. I think it was NCIS Hawaii. And I remember sitting there tagging the episode. No. Oh, it was Magnum PI. That's what it was. It was Magnum PI that Ryan Blaney appeared in. And I was like, I was sitting there tagging the episode. I'm like, is that Ryan Blaney? What's he doing here? It was Magnum PI. That's right. Because I think, yeah, okay. I got the shows mixed up. But yeah, anyway. How Patty Moy's kick-started a movement. Yeah. I was crying at Daytona weekend this year during the Earnhardt and Biffle tributes. Yeah. Yeah, I love those tributes. That would be cool. SNL and the SNL timeline would just be our timeline. Yeah, maybe. Or just something different. Yeah, that's right. Magnum PI. Yeah, because I sat there like, is that Ryan Blaney? Wait a minute. What's he doing? Yeah, exactly. I was like, what is he doing here? That's cool. The Blaney mustache. Yeah. Yeah, the power of the mustache, baby. Oh, man. Joey Logano and Kyle Busch were on Raw. Yes! Yes, because... and Carl Edwards. Yeah, because Carl Edwards, I think he's friends with John Cena. Or at least... Obviously, he was in that Gillette Young Guns commercial with John Cena. It was like Edwards, Newman, Hamlin, and a few others. Since you guys teach me how to race, I'm going to teach you how to wrestle. And they were all beating up on Cena. And Newman! I always loved that part of the... Newman! Yeah, Logano and Kyle Busch. So that was back when Monday Night Raw did the special guest general managers, and like a famous person or a celebrity would be like the GM for a night. So I think Carl Edwards might have done it one time, but I know Kyle and Logano. And of course, Kyle Busch was the 24/7 champion for a night, and of course Tyler Reddick was on Raw recently too. So. Do you think Louisiana or SoCal Riverside will be updated, have safer barriers? Yeah. That's just something I'm going to have to teach myself in Sandbox and figure out eventually. But, yeah. But, did NCSOI do a race episode? I'm not entirely sure. SNL and the SNL timeline starts with Joe Weatherly surviving in 64. Yeah. Have an idea, take the Darlington Throwback Weekend, bring it back, have all the drivers run throwbacks to the Legends Kill on the track. Yeah, certainly. I still like that even though they don't do the Throwback Weekend anymore, people still do throwback paint schemes. I like throwback paint schemes. I think it's cool. Yeah, I think it's cool. So... All right. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. And like I said, stay tuned for when we do the second part, which the part 2 is like an hour and 26 minutes long. So, and of course, that just covers the entire Winston Cup and obviously, the Daytona 500, which obviously last time we watched the entire race in full. So, I'm glad we did that too, because it was just fun to celebrate that. But yeah, we'll keep the train going. We're making progress. So, Busch Series is coming along. 2002 is coming along. So stay tuned for more updates with that. Take care. I had a lot of fun hearing your thoughts, as I've only followed this series a few months now. Yeah, Charlie, thank you so much. I appreciate all the support, and it's been great chatting with all you guys. I really appreciate it. It's always fun. It's always fun having this kind of discussion, having fun with you guys. So I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I'm really, really thankful. So thank you guys. And yeah, stay tuned for more updates and more info. 2002 is going to be awesome. So you guys have a good night. Have a wonderful, happy Easter. No cup race tomorrow. So I guess enjoy the off week for that. And then Bristol next week. So yeah. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, take care and have a good night.